It is for sure a football Friday night. Welcome to High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. John Holder, Chad Barnett, Coach Michael Short, our hard-working after the game crew with you on this football Friday night, and we have got a lot of action going on. A full 3-hour show headed your way tonight from the Sound Solutions Media Center at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Midtown Anniston. A big week of region play tonight. Some important games. We've got some shockers. We got some upsets. We got some thrillers tonight. It is going to be an interesting run through our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard here right off the bat. We've got most of the final scores, so let's jump to them tonight. We will have highlights of this game from out at Robertson Field in White Plains. Another Robertson, Mike Robertson, bringing the Hokes Bluff Eagles into town. Class 4A Region 6 battle tonight. This was a back and forth game, back and forth, but Hokes Bluff in the end wins it over White Plains in a thriller tonight. Great ball game out at White Plains, packed house on both sides. Hokes Bluff wins it 35-28. Hokes Bluff still has never lost to the Wildcats, but boy, tonight they sure came close. Hokes Bluff wins it 35-28 to remain undefeated. A game that we were looking forward to and we were planning to be at, but it didn't happen tonight. That was Donahoe hosting number 1 and defending Class 1A state champion Wadley. Earlier in the week, Donahoe, some injuries, some sickness. They forfeit the game to Wadley, so Wadley gets the win to improve to 4-0. Wadley will now remain undefeated, probably still number 1 in the state. Donahoe falls to 0-4. Now, let's look at this game. We've got highlights of this game coming up. It was homecoming, the first ever football homecoming for Hope Christian tonight down in Oxford. They lose to Crenshaw Christian coming out of Luverne tonight, 33-0. We will have some highlights of that game coming from down at Big Jack Stovall Park in Oxford. One game that we're still looking for a final score, and that is Pinson Valley and Oxford. This was a 21-14 lead by Oxford late in the game. We're still looking for a final score on that game from Willie Adams Stadium over in Pinson Valley. Oxford trying to hang on and win that game in Class 6A Region 6 play. They were leading Pinson Valley in the fourth quarter, 21-14. This is one of the shockers. Not that Glencoe has won the game, but the manner that Glencoe won it. They scored 28 points in the second quarter tonight, and Glencoe, probably the biggest win for Glencoe in a decade, to be quite honest. Glencoe beats Walter Welborn tonight at Wilson Darnell Stadium in Glencoe, 42-0. Welborn had won. It says they've won 6 straight. That is no longer true. That's a had won 6 straight in the series as Glencoe beats Walter Welborn tonight, 42-0. The final from over at Glencoe. Highlights of that game coming on after the game. This is our game of the week presented by Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance, and it lived up to the billing tonight just up the street a few blocks from us at Watt Mosby Memorial Stadium. Number 5 in 4A Anniston beating number 9 in Class 4A Alexandria 20-18. Anniston led most of the game. Alexandria took the lead 18-14 in the fourth quarter, their first lead of the game. And then Anniston scores, and then they get an interception at the end of the game. And Anniston beats Alexandria tonight. A huge matchup in Class 4A Region 6 tonight as Anniston beats Alexandria 20-18. We will have the complete highlights of that game, all the post-game reaction as well from Coach Michael Short at the game tonight with our Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance Game of the Week. Another close game tonight. Sachs and Weaver out at Jack Stewart Field in Sachs. Big game for playoff survival in Class 3A Region 6. It was Weaver beating Sachs by a score of 28-14. Weaver 28, should say 28-24. Weaver 28, Sachs 24. We will have highlights of that game coming from Jack Stewart Field. Also, highlights of this game coming on the way. This is not correct. We need to flip that. It was J.B. Pennington 42, Ohatchee 9. If we can correct that one. J.B. Pennington 42 and Ohatchee 9, the final. We will have highlights of that game. Pennington did beat Ohatchee 42-9 tonight was the final score out at the Creek Bank at Ohatchee. We will have highlights of that game coming from the Creek Bank where J.B. Pennington wins another big game in Class 3A Region 6 tonight. Also tonight, we had, make that 42-14. By the way, it's Pennington 42, Ohatchee 14. Now, this was 42-9. Jacksonville beating Center Point tonight on the road at Center Point. That was 42-9. Trinity out of Pelham playing host to JCA tonight over in Shelby County at Pelham. Still looking for a final score on that game from over at Shelby County tonight. Jacksonville Christian trying to go to 3-0 on the year, playing the Trinity Christian homeschool. This was a huge matchup tonight in Class 2A Region 7. Number 3 Pisgah hosting number 5 Pleasant Valley in Class 2A. Pleasant Valley is no longer undefeated. We had them at 3-0. They're not going to fall to 3-1. Pisgah tonight beats Pleasant Valley 44-20. Pisgah 44, Pleasant Valley 20. As Pisgah, a lot of people think, and I'm in this camp, that this might be the region title game in that region. If so, Pisgah's well on their way to winning another region championship as Pisgah beats Pleasant Valley tonight up at Pisgah at Sam Kinnemer Stadium 44-20. Last night, we'll bring you highlights of this game, complete highlights, complete post-game reaction coming as well as Cleveland County beat Talladega last night at Mary Dumas Stadium 29-8. Big game in Class 4A Region 3, and we will have the complete highlights and post-game reaction from Talladega last night coming up on After the Game. Reeltown tonight, number 2 team in the state in Class 2A, and of course they're the defending state champion. Reeltown beats Ranburne tonight down at Reeltown 56-7, the final in that game. Woodland at home tonight at Sewell Field. They beat the Gaston Bulldogs in a non-region game. Woodland 34, Gaston 12, the final. Randolph County and Dadeville still looking for a final on this game from Hewlett-Humphrey Stadium down in Wedowee. We should have that one for you shortly. This was a bit of a shocker. I know St. James is 0-4, but it's still St. James, still a good football team. Hanley tonight at home at Wright Field in Road Oak. They go to 3-1 as they beat St. James handily tonight, 42-0. Central of Clay County continues to roll. Number 17 in 5A at home tonight at Volunteer Stadium. They take care of the Marbury Bulldogs, 39-14, the final score tonight from down at Volunteer Stadium. Beauregard and Sylacauga still looking for the final on that game from down in Beauregard tonight. Also, Fayetteville and Winneboro, not a final, but Winneboro was leading this game against Fayetteville by a score of 22-0 in the second half. Winneboro 22, Fayetteville nothing in the second half. Glenwood Academy tonight, the Glenwood School, they beat Childersburg at John Cox Stadium in Childersburg 49-12, the final. Indiana School for the Deaf and the Alabama School for the Deaf, they will play tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 in Indianapolis, Indiana. Munford and Bullitt County still looking for a final score on that game from down in Munford. Leeds tonight, the Green Wave, number 6 team in 5A, playing at home at Homer Smiles Field in Leeds, beating our reigning Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week as they beat Lincoln tonight 45-15. This was a complete shocker tonight down at Pell City at Pete Rich Alumni Stadium. Pell City beating Mountain Brook by a score of 10-3. Pell City beats Mountain Brook. That is the correct score. The number 9 team in Class 6A. Pell City wins the game over Mountain Brook by a score of 10-3. Also, Moody tonight jumped all over St. Clair County. St. Clair County jumped into the Class 5A state rankings, mainly on that big win over Catholic of Montgomery. But Moody probably going to kick them right back out of the top 10. Number 2 Moody beating number 9 St. Clair County in 5A action. That was by a score of 55-0 tonight down at Bill Morris Stadium in Moody. Springville got a 5-hour road trip going all the way to the Gulf Coast as they go down to Irvington to take on the Alma Bryant Hurricanes at the Hurricane I Stadium tonight. It was Alma Bryant beating Springville 44-24, the final from Mobile County tonight. For the second year in a row, we don't have this, but we do have the final. Guys, we can put that up. Asheville beats Aniana 22-21. They were trailing late in the game. They score a touchdown. If we can go back to that one, go back to Aniana Asheville. They score late in the game and go for 2, and they get the 2-point conversion with 2:37 to go in the game. And there's the final. Thank you, guys. Great job. Asheville, for the second year in a row, beats Aniana, a much improved Aniana team. Mark Sanders and the Bulldogs go into Gilbert Stadium. They beat Aniana tonight 22-21. Huge win for the Asheville Bulldogs. Staying over in Blount County, Southeastern, the Mustangs tonight shutting out Ragland 34-0. The final score in that game. Sandrock, first win of the Tanner Nelson era tonight up at Russell Jakeway Stadium. Sandrock beat Section 35-12, the final score in that game. Cherokee County continues to roll. They play at Jim Glover Field in Attala tonight against Etowah. They beat the Blue Devils 38-14. Appalachian tonight with a big win up at Straight Mountain in Blount County. They beat the Gainesville Trojans 56-0. Gainesville without their running back Jackson Tell, and it showed tonight as they held scoreless to Appalachian 56-0. Last night, another Thursday night game up in Higdon. North Sand Mountain beating Cedar Bluff last night 34-6. Cedar Bluff scoring on the last play of the game, or it would have been a shutout, as North Sand Mountain wins 34-6. History-making game tonight in Woodville and Jackson County. Spring Garden had never lost to Woodville before. Number 9 ranked team in the state in Class 1A. But tonight it happened. Joel Poole, former Pleasant Valley head coach, Lineville native. The Panthers, Battle of Panthers tonight. Woodville, for the first time ever, beat Spring Garden tonight 41-26 up at Woodville. Fort Payne gets a big win over Southside tonight in that really good Class 6A Region 8 tonight. Fort Payne beats Southside 28-6 the final. Westbrook Christian continues to roll. Westbrook tonight at home. We'll bring you highlights of this game from Jack Osborne Memorial Stadium in Rainbow City. Westbrook Christian blasting Locust Fork tonight. This is a big revenge game for Westbrook. They lost in the rain and the storms last year over at Locust Fork 47-43. This time there was no question. Westbrook wins it 53-7. Highlights of that game coming from over in Rainbow City a little bit later on after the game. Coosa Christian tonight, number 6 team in 2A, playing at home in Gadsden. No problem with Falkville. They beat the Blue Devils tonight 26-0 the final. West End and Susan Moore, not a final yet, late in the game, and this was a back and forth game. Susan Moore was leading West End. There it is. Susan Moore 42, West End 26. That is a big rival. That's the battle of Highway 278 West. Playing tonight in Walnut Grove. Susan Moore comes in and wins the game 42-26. Gunnersville tonight, number 5 team in 5A, playing at home at Chorley Stadium on the lake in Gunnersville. They beat the Sardis Lions 49-12 tonight. Some big games around the state tonight. Still looking for a final in this 3A top 10 matchup in Bruton. Number 4 T.R. Miller and number 9 Flomaton playing tonight. I think we got the final for that one about to pop up. And T.R. Miller and Flomaton playing tonight down on the Gulf Coast. There it is. T.R. Miller beats Flomaton tonight. Big battle, big rivals there in Escambia County. Top 10 matchup in 3A. Miller wins it 27-10. Gordo and Winfield, another top 10 matchup in 3A tonight, being played at Gordo, number 5 versus number 10. And then, again, 3 big games, 3 top 10 matchups in 7A tonight. One of those in Phoenix City at Garrett Stadium. Central Phoenix City tonight, number 1 team in 7A. They blast number 7 Dothan 56-28 tonight. Huge game over in Metro Birmingham. Number 8 Hoover, they fall at home tonight. They lose to Hewitt Trussville, the number 3 team in 7A, by a score of 17-14. And also tonight, Vestavia Hills. They were a winner over Hillcrest Tuscaloosa, and we may have that one coming up. There it is, number 5 Vestavia Hills beating number 9 in 7A Hillcrest Tuscaloosa. That was at Vestavia tonight at Thompson Reynolds Stadium. Vestavia wins it by a score of 42-24. And we do have, let's go back to 3A. There's the final on the Gordo game. Number 5 Gordo beating number 10 Winfield in Class 3A. And that was a top 10 matchup over in West Alabama. Gordo beats the Greenway. The Gordo Greenway beat the Winfield Pirates tonight by a score of 35-21. And we are back on after the game on this football Friday night. As always, we kick it off with our cheer squad of the league. Let me show you what they're going to get here. They're going to get this thing from Cheehaw Cheer and Tumble. It's got all kind of goodies in here. This is called a belt bag. Every member of our cheer squad of the week is going to get that, ladies. We're going to tell you who this is in just a moment. They're getting excited over there. I'm going to toss that off to the side. So who's it going to be this week? Who's our Cheehaw Cheer and Tumble cheer squad of the week? Well, I tell you, we got Lizzie Ricks here from Cheehaw Cheer and Tumble. We've got Amber Gaines. She is the cheer sponsor for the Sachs High School Wildcats. They are our Cheehaw Cheer and Tumble cheer squad of the week. Lizzie, take it away.
Hey guys, I'm the skills specialist at Cheaha Cheer and Tumble, and I get the privilege of working with these ladies every single week, and they are super talented, and I love them, and I'm honored to present them with this award for Cheer Team of the Week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. Now, if you want to know why they are a Cheer Squad of the Week, you're about to find out, because, ladies and gentlemen, live in studio, we have the Sachs High School Wildcat Cheerleading Squad. They're going to take us to break. Ladies, let us go.
Go, Mighty Wildcats, go! Go! Go, Mighty Wildcats, go! Go! Go, Mighty Wildcats, go! Go! Let's go! Let's go,
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact a local agent for your personal price plan today.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
It's game time, and your home deserves a winning play.
At Ted's Floors and Beyond, we're your home renovation MVP. Scoring big with top quality cabinets, flooring, countertops, and tile.
Whether you're tackling a full remodel or just need new floors before kickoff, we've got unbeatable deals, including 0% interest for 12 months and free in-home estimates.
Don't fumble your dream home. Hustle in a Ted's today.
Back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission on this exciting football Friday night. A lot of big games. We got a ton of highlights, a lot to talk about tonight, as a region play was very exciting tonight across the region. Fine folks at Grub Mart, we're going to introduce you to our muscle team a little bit later on. Young old Grub Mart. Let me tell you, they got Grub Mart swag now. You can go to any of their locations all across the region, Cherokee County down to Lee County. They're over in Walker and St. Clair counties now. They've got T-shirts, caps, chairs, lanyards, key rings, koozies, air fresheners, beach towels, socks, in addition to great gas and snacks and deli items and things like that. Grub Mart bringing you our muscle team each and every week here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. Well, we are back with the Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship. I'm going to take a second here before we get to Charlie Paris of Alexandria and tell you how this works. We got 20 schools in Cherokee and Calhoun counties. We have 4 nominees submitted by the schools. We got 2 males, 2 females from each school. You'll be voting in the first round of that. It's kind of like a raffle. The more votes that they get, the better they have their chance of being drawn out by our automated picker system. We'll narrow this from basically 80 student athletes to 40 student athletes, and then later on, beginning Halloween night, all the way up until Veterans Day, you'll be voting on that, and then we'll have 2 winners that will get a $1,500 apiece scholarship. That's $3,000 in scholarship money from Farmers and Merchants Bank. Plus, our top 40 finalists, they all get a $50 gift card courtesy of Farmers and Merchants Bank. So every week, beginning this week, we're going to introduce you to the nominees. Voting is going to begin on our Facebook page, High School Football Alabama, at midnight tonight. That voting begins at midnight, and it will last all the way until 12 noon next Friday. So tonight we've got 2 schools where we're going to introduce outstanding student athletes to you, beginning with Alexandria. There is Charlie Paris. He got a lot of airtime tonight from me talking and explaining our Spirit Scholarship. Charlie is a 4.1 GPA, a volleyball, basketball, and softball player for the Valley Cubs. Our other female nominee from Alexandria is Zoe Wilson, a 4.13 GPA. She is cross-country, basketball, and track. We also have from Alexandria 2 male athletes. Their outstanding fullback, Ryan Brown, a GPA of 3.8, football player for the Valley Cubs. Also from Alexandria is Garrett Haynes. He has a perfect 4.0 GPA, and he is a baseball player for Alexandria. Our other school tonight is Cedar Bluff High School, and we have Sienna Smith. She's a basketball and softball player for the Tigers up in Cherokee County with a 3.3 GPA. Our other female scholarship nominee is Kylie Vadon of Cedar Bluff, a 4.0 GPA, a basketball and softball player at Cedar Bluff. Then we have 2 male athletes from Cedar Bluff. Jonas Brown with a 3.7 GPA. He plays football, basketball, and golf for Cedar Bluff. And our final Spirit Scholarship nominee of the night and from Cedar Bluff is Dylan McDaniel, a 3.7 GPA. He is a football, basketball, baseball, and track athlete, a 4-sport athlete for the Cedar Bluff Tigers. Again, tonight at 12 midnight, you can go to our Facebook page at High School Football Alabama and begin casting your votes for these student athletes all the way until 12 noon on next Friday. And next Friday night, we'll have about 3 more schools where we'll introduce more student athletes and begin more voting coming up next week. All right, we're now ready for our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser. And we are pleased to welcome in the head football coach of the Cleburne County Tigers, Coach Vaughn Lee. His team last night, very impressive, a region win in 4A Region 3 at Mary Dumas Stadium in Talladega, where they won over the Talladega Tigers 29-8. Coach Short, come on in. It's live TV. All right. Coach Lee, congratulations on the win last night. Coach literally running down, he ran down Layton Avenue from Anniston tonight. Yeah. To get here from our game of the week. So, guys, welcome in. Coach, congratulations on the win last night. We talked with you after the game. We'll see that interview when we have the highlights a little bit later on. But your team played, the term you used and some of your players were using and everybody seemed to be using was your team was very physical last night. And I know you well. That's a term that you like to hear in talking about your football team.
Yes, sir. We worked hard in the offseason to become stronger and tougher and more physical, and I feel like that finally paid off for us last night. We one of the big things, we improved a lot in the kicking game, which hurt us in the first 2 weeks of the season, and I feel like our kicking game really kind of helped set us apart this week.
It really, especially in the punting game, because you made some really big plays that flipped the field, turned the field position over, had some near blocks, tackled the punter, was in the highlights coming up a couple of times, really had a good rush on the punter last night, really disrupted their whole punting game last night.
And for the first time in a long time, we actually saw the referee give the touchback. We kicked the ball in the end zone. That rarely happens at Cleburne County, and we were able to kick the ball through the end zone a few times, which really helped our field position.
You had 188 yards rushing last night, but you also had you were at 13 completions, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the passing game. So I think just from knowing you and knowing Cleburne County football through the years, Coach can come in on this as well. That's a number you kind of like. It's maybe like a 2-to-1 rush pass, but you want to basically rush the football well, to set up those key big passes, and you had a couple of those big ones last night. It seemed like the balance that you wanted was kind of, for me through the years, kind of typical Cleveland County.
You know, explosive plays as we're looking for. We're really trying to throw the football to get people out of the box so we can run it. And so I felt like, you know, we caught them in some spots there where we were able to hit explosive plays in the passing game to get people out of the box so we could run. And Carter Hughes and Elijah Ware both ran the ball very hard last night. Our offensive line got after it, and they were very physical. I think Carter was in the 20-something carries for about 160, 170 yards, and he really hit some explosive plays as well and ran hard.
I want to talk about your defense. I'm going to turn it over to Coach Short and do some coach talk here. But your defense last night, and Malik Smith, their quarterback, known as a running quarterback, really a dangerous athlete, their biggest weapon. You held Talladega last night to 45 yards total rushing, really held him in check, didn't give up really any big explosive plays, as you said, at all. Your defense, we talked a lot about the offense, but your defense was really good last night, especially against the run.
We're still a process, and we're really working hard on our fits and our running game and trying to limit the number of explosive plays. And when you have a quarterback that's flushed out of the pocket and he's still dangerous, and we have to be disciplined with our eyes in the back end to make sure we don't bite up with those quarterbacks that are very athletic and give up explosive plays. I felt like for the most part we did a good job of that last night.
Coach, the one thing that I noticed first from watching the ball game was just how physical you were up front going to the defensive side. I mean, defensively, when you can let three guys rush a quarterback and everybody else can drop it, sure, it makes a big difference.
Yes, sir, it does. I feel like our front three are as good as there is around, led by Kaven Bates, a sophomore who has become really a big leader and an alpha for our program, especially defensively. He's really grown up a lot, and when you take those front three and you can flush and rush with those three, it really helps us set us up, get other people in position.
It looks like from watching the game and observing it that a lot of the kids on the defensive side of the ball, you could hear them out there because, you know, it's not real loud there at that stadium, but you could hear them communicating and talking, and they look like they played with a lot of confidence.
Yes, sir. We really spent a lot of time in the film room this week. Our coaches did a great job of preparing them to understand what may, recognizing formations, getting lined up. We still struggled a little bit getting lined up on time, but we did a good job of communication. I felt like we really understood the game plan very well. We had a plan, and I think our kids really understood what we were trying to do.
You know, we talked about it last night, and people will see it later on in the interview, but we talked about your first two ball games. In the games that you played, yeah, Hanley was there, but you played a very good, much improved Sardis team who lives off of physicality.
Yes.
And I think maybe those first two ball games had a lot to do with your win last night.
It did. We played a spring jamboree this year, and it helped us throughout the summer, but it also set us back this fall not being able to play a jamboree game. So we don't have a week 0, so we go to week 1, and then we get into week 1, and I felt like scrimmage probably would have helped us a little bit in those areas. So I feel like we're starting to hit our stride a little bit. We're really starting to understand, how to play the game and the process of winning.
I think that the people are getting to see right now, getting to see the second or third play of the game. And it looks like you got a good job of blocking and just some of the runs that Carter made there to start the game to get you off to a fast start. But I also noticed Carter's getting some big runs, but there's a lot of good blocking up front. But Elijah, being a fullback, did a good job of blocking. And also saw your other guy, your linebacker there, coming in there some. I know he's hobbling some, but he had some good blocks too.
Yes, sir. Our running backs, one thing we pride on ourselves is our ability to block for each other. I really like it when our backs block for each other. They take a lot of pride in it. They love each other. They play for each other, and it's fun to watch.
Coach, let's talk about the future. We'll look at this game last night, region game against Talladega. Last year, this region seemed to be kind of top-heavy. Booker T. Washington, Tallahassee, people like that, St. James at the top. It seems like this year that this region is a lot more balanced. It seems like I noticed tonight, St. James lost to Hanley 42-0 tonight down in Roanoke. That's just one of those scores as well. So it seems like that this region is a lot more balanced, and your team, it looks like, just from watching here in the early part of the season, is going to be a team that's going to be right there in the mix of it as far as a playoff berth out of this 4A Region 3.
We sure plan to. Our goal is to go 1-0 every week. We really don't know a lot about the teams in our region, to be honest with you, other than the scores you see and maybe a little of the film we've seen so far. But I do know, like, for example, Tallahassee won the region last year, and Booker T, I think, just beat them tonight. And then, I think Hanley may have finished third last year, and Bullitt County finished fourth. So that this year, I think things are really a lot more balanced and even. I feel like Talladega played Booker T, I think 19-8 last week, and so Booker T beats Tallahassee. I think there's I think the thing about this region is people staying healthy, because there's some key players in the region, and I think the health of the players as we go deep into the region play is going to be one of the keys.
Absolutely. This is a region you mentioned. It's tough on a coach, and both of you guys can talk about this because you've both been there before. When you're playing teams that are 2 hours away and you don't know the coaches, you don't know the players, you don't know about who they're playing in non-region, it's hard to compare. How tough is it, guys, to prepare for Bullitt Counties and St. James and Tallahassee's and Booker T. Washington's as opposed to preparing for teams like White Plains and Talladega and Hanley and people that you know?
Well, we don't know anything about these teams other than maybe Mumford and Talladega and a little bit about Hanley. So, we don't see them. Last year we traveled, I think, 3 trips over 2 hours with a lot of freshmen on the bus and really had no idea what we were getting into. This year, a lot of those teams come to us. We have a lot of home games they're going to have to travel a lot. So I know that'll be tough on, especially the other teams. We don't have those kind of trips this year. So I think that really helps us, as far as our schedule goes.
Helps you money-wise. You
Yeah.
don't have to spend so much money on buses and charter buses. And the one positive thing about that, you having to go play, those teams on the road, they don't know us either. I mean, we're a long way away, so they don't have no clue who we are either. It's just new stadiums to go to. But I do know one thing about Cleveland County people and Coach Steve. They're going to travel, and they're going to be there, and they're going to be supported.
Yeah, big crowd last night, Coach. Yes. Somebody asked me about what kind of crowd did Heflin have there last night, and I was like, well, they had more than the home team did. Yeah. There were not very many seats left over there. Yeah. I don't know if there's a town anywhere, and there's a lot of towns around here that support high school football, but I don't know if there's any that's better at supporting the school and the community and things going than the city of Heflin does.
The 3 trips we had last year were to Bullitt County and Union Springs, Alabama. We went to Tuskegee last year, and we went to St. James, and I think in all those situations, our stands were more full than theirs.
Wow.
In the traveling that far, there's a lot to be said for Cleveland County's community and our support of our kids.
Take us to next week, and then I know it's one game at a time, but just kind of look at from week to week. We're still early in the season. I know it's week 4 already, but kind of take us a look. What are you looking for out of your football team? You've seen some good things. I know you've seen some things you want to improve on. Every week a coach sees that, doesn't matter how good they are. And so what are some things that you've taken away from this first 4 games, and maybe some things that you see that you want to really focus in on improve these last 6 weeks?
In our process of learning to win, we've done a better job of not really worrying about our opponents and really just showing up to compete for 4 quarters. We've done a great job of that. Like I said, a lot of these teams, we still don't know them. We have to worry about ourselves a lot. We want to be the tougher team. We want to be the more physical team. We want to bring our game and really focus on ourselves. I know from week to week, and we play Booker T next week in a big region game at home, and then we host Welborn the next week, another physical football team. But I really feel like that we're, turning the corner in our physicality. Like I said, our strength is getting better, our size, we're getting bigger. I feel like that, we're just going to have to keep learning how to win in the process and make sure that we make decisions that are best for the team and helping our team win. And I feel like, we're growing closer together, and I feel like we're turning the corner. Our kids are very positive. You couldn't have I know every coach says this, but you couldn't have a locker room of better kids than what we have, and they've bought in, and I'm excited over the next few weeks.
Awesome.
Coach, one more thing here is, you can't get out of here without asking you. You've done a good job of surrounding yourself, your coaching staff, yes, but with your booster club and your administration. Give us just an idea about those people and how much they mean to the program.
A lot of the guys that were here, that were playing when I first got to Cleveland County in the 90s, have come together and really started our Booster Club back up. We've really done a great job of kind of reaching back into the community and trying to, organize support. We have a new Jumbotron in our stadium, and people are really excited about that and the money it can generate throughout the next few years. I've been nothing but amazed at how much support we get from our Booster Club. I couldn't be more proud as a coach to see those guys come back and give to our communities. I really feel like that our Booster Club is gaining momentum, and I feel like that we, step by step, we want to get back to where we used to be.
Coach, congratulations on the big win last night against Talladega. We're going to have complete highlights of this game coming up. We'll show you all the big plays coming up. We'll have the post-game interview with Coach and a couple of the key Tiger players coming up after the game, and we'll have that on after the game coming up just a little bit later on. Coach, congratulations. Best of luck the rest of the season. It's time now, before we go to break, we got to show you about our Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week from last week's games, and that is Keyshawn Woods of Cherokee County. Let me tell you what Keyshawn did. Carried the ball 26 times for 218 yards and 5 touchdowns in Center's 42-29 win over Aniana last week up at Bobby Joe Johnson Field. His touchdown runs came on runs of 50, 13, 27, 18, and 20 yards. We have a great plaque from Farmers and Merchants Bank and awards to remember on the way to Center. He'll be getting that on Monday. Again, our Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week for this week, Keyshawn Woods of the Cherokee County Warriors. USA Softball of Alabama, we're going to go through their scoreboard again. We've shown you the scoreboard once already with all the final scores, and we've got more on the way. Their season for 2026 is already underway. The 2026 season just began 2 weeks ago. You can go to their website at usasoftballofalabama.com. If you are interested in an adult or youth team playing, contact Tracy Morgan through that website, usasoftballofalabama.com. Tons of highlights, scores, and a whole lot more as we roll on a football Friday night on After the Game.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. Life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Looking for top-tier tumbling and cheer in East Alabama? Cheaha Cheer and Tumble has programs for every age and skill level. We offer small group tumbling, tot and preschool classes, and even custom training for school cheer teams. Planning a party? Let us host it. And our nationally recognized all-star teams train right here at home. Join the Cheaha family, where confidence takes root and champions are made. Visit CheahaCheerandTumble.com today.
This spring and summer, get it done right with Oxford Lumber, your hometown partner for projects big or small. From refreshing your garden to upgrading your outdoor space, we've got everything you need. Check out our full garden center and gear up on our Stihl showroom, chainsaws, blowers, trimmers, and more. Ready to grill? We've got Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone to fire up the fun. Since 1985, Oxford Lumber has been built on tradition and focused on you. Visit us today at any of our 5 locations: Oxford, Roanoke, Talladega, Jacksonville, and Lincoln. Oxford Lumber, where you're treated like family.
Well, you just saw the head coach of the Cleveland County Tigers, Coach Vaughn Lee, on our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser. Noble Bank and Trust celebrating their 20th year here in East Alabama, not just in East Alabama, but in Birmingham as well. They've been having celebrations, customer appreciation events all throughout the year. They've got a number of those coming up. The next one will be in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, September 26th at the Summit in Birmingham, October 10th at the Anniston office, and November 21st in Alexandria. Don't forget, it's the 10th anniversary of the Noble Bank Foundation's Martha Vandervoort Memorial Golf Classic, and they still have some openings for that, not much. That'll be October 16th and the 17th. All right, yesterday afternoon, I was out at Lincoln Keith Howard Memorial Stadium presenting our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. We were out there with the Anniston Orthopedics score shirts. We had the Ted shirts. We had our awards to remember, Tough Guy Trophy. They beat Centerpoint last week, 49-26, second win in a row for the Golden Bears. Great crew out there. We were on the 50-yard line on the turf out there yesterday, presenting all the goodies to the Lincoln Golden Bears. Coming up at the end of the show tonight, we are going to have the announcement of this week's Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. So that'll be coming up at the end of the show tonight. If you want a close-up of what those shirts look like, this is what it looks like. They are Anniston Orthopedics score shirts. We can take a look at that. I'm going to cover myself up there. Thanks to Anniston Orthopedics for providing those. And the reason we call it a score shirt is every week it has the final score of that team's game. This is from week 1 when Hope Christian beat Valiant Cross 28-18, and has the date of the game. And I understand, Chad Barnett, as you join me on the set here, that because that was such a big win by Hope Christian, they are going to frame this shirt.
That's pretty cool.
And they're going to put it up in the school forever.
Makes me feel good
because of their first win in school history.
Well, because there was a couple good options for that week, so I'm
Yes.
glad we made that choice for that, because that's obviously a pretty big thing.
Well, tonight, tonight was
a lot of good football.
Coach is going to join us here in a minute, but I want to tell you, guys, tonight, come on in, Coach.
Just walk on in. He's on.
There he is. There's Coach Short.
Coach Short.
All
time.
right,
That's what we got.
guys, we knew coming in that tonight was going to be. I've always thought, gather my thoughts here on tonight. I've always thought in high school football for years and years and years that it takes 4 weeks to find out really who's got what's going to happen. Tonight was week 4, and I thought at the end of week 4 we're going to know. We found out. I call this one Found Out Friday. We found out tonight a lot about a lot of football teams from 1A through 6A. We found out a lot. And this game that you were at tonight over in Glencoe, we found out a lot. We suspected this, but we found out a lot about one football team tonight. That's the Glencoe Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, 3A Region 6, we've talked about it. How is this one going to end out? A lot of big teams, a lot of good teams, and we'll see how these plan out over the next 4 or 5 weeks. But through 3 weeks on the season, the Glencoe Yellow Jackets, they've already matched their win total from the entire 2024 season. But they welcome in a region rival, a physical contest, supposed to be with the Welborn Panthers. They always bring the heat. Class 3A Region 6 battle in Glencoe. Let's go out to the highlights and see how this one fared out. As you can see, Bailey Blanch, I tell you, he's got these boys playing a little bit of football. Josiah Bethel with the pressure on the first drive of the night forces a intentional grounding that would pin them back. Welborn would punt. Glencoe would punt because a nice play by Caden Horton with a deflection. This will go back and forth to the first few drives. We go to the second quarter, and that's really when Glencoe would start to pick it up. This is going to be a great pick here by Jalen Hunter on an interception. It was almost as good of a punt because it was a long throw on third down. And now we're back to this guy. Bronner, I told you, play of the night, play possibility here. 2 jukes, and then he gets in there with a stiff arm at the goal line. Beautiful run by Bronner McMurray. Good Lord, we can't say it. What a play. Sideline is jacked, and Wellborn would stall on their next drive, and they would have a muffed punt here. And Wellborn would give this up because Glencoe gets phenomenal field position. They're going to go back to the man again. McMurray powers his way into the end zone. It's going to be 14-0 Glencoe. They are flexing at this point on Wellborn, and it's kind of shocking, but Wellborn would have a nice drive here, but the ball would hit the mat. It's going to be a big guy, big fella with the recovery. Check him out, celebrating to the sideline. Jonah St. John, number 66, with a big play. And then, you know, they call them, these kids today, they say, let them cook. And this kid was doing it. Down to the 2-yard line, he was strong for Glencoe tonight. He was so good, you know, you'd forget about the other guys. Beautiful run here by Alex Hudson in the end zone. 21-0 the score. The RO Supply touchdown T-shirts go up, and Glencoe impressive tonight. It was 21-0 whenever I left, and they went on to win in a shutout, 42-0.
If you had told me that those RO Supply touchdown T-shirts, if we give it for every touchdown, we're going to go out 6 times tonight for Glencoe.
Would have never thought it.
I would never have thought that. I am not, let me go on record in saying, I am not surprised that Glencoe won this game. Not surprised at that at all. Coach and I had seen them in some 7-on-7s this summer. I had seen them against Westbrook Christian a couple weeks ago. I knew they were probably the most improved team in East Alabama. But you just don't go beat Wellborn 42-0. I guess if Jonathan Allen played for Glencoe, he'd say, well, Glencoe does. What a phenomenal performance by Bailey Blanchard. And let's look at this Glencoe team. You know, his dad was such a defensive guru. And he's only got 2 shutouts in his young career already over there at Glencoe. What an impressive win tonight. I don't know that we can say how impressive a win this was tonight. You saw it in person, and Coach, we'll get your thoughts on it. Beating Wellborn 42-0. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
I left it at 21-0, right, with about 3 minutes left in the first half. And I've seen Wellborn twice already this year. And both times they came back with massive second halves. So I thought that by the time I left, we'd come back second half, they would have closed that gap, and it would have been a much closer game at the end. When I heard the score, I was shocked. But just judging by the eyes, when I was there, that's kind of what happened. This McMurray kid, I couldn't say his name well in the highlights.
I think.
Bronner. But
Bronner,
my goodness, he is hard-nosed.
He had the microwave going.
He was cooking.
I mean, he had that microwave going.
He was cooking.
You know, the thing's going to be 2 things is how are they going to handle success week after week? Because they haven't been there. I mean, as a school, it's been there before, but it hadn't here recently. And how are they going to handle success? And I told you last week, this game may be a 3rd and 4th type game. And we all say the top 2. We know who the top 2 may be. You never know. Injuries, you know, you got to stay healthy. But
and the thing about Glencoe is they're going to get better every week. That's the scary part. If you have Glencoe coming on your schedule in 3A Region 6, they're going to get better as time goes along. It's almost, Coach, seeing them in the summertime and seeing them now this year, it's almost a completely different football team than what we saw last year.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to go in there and just say, all right, they're just going to be power football and they're just going to run over you. Because once I saw 7-on-7 and saw some fast people out there, some athletes out there. They haven't had that type of athlete in the past couple of years. And now they have them, and you can do a whole lot more when you got, you know, you can cook with that defense too. You can get them up and get them where they're going to be. But look, they're very impressive in their offensive line.
Yeah.
Their offensive line looks good. In 7-on-7, you don't see your linemen, but they were over there in the weight room and they were sweating. They were impressive in that weight room too.
Yeah, they look good.
We got a lot of folks that watch us in Glencoe, so they're going. I think that might be the new. You may have started something, Coach. Glencoe is cooking.
That's right.
Glencoe is cooking. I'll tell you guys, I think this. I think it's the biggest Glencoe win in a decade, in 10 years. I think you have to go back 10 years.
Yeah, you're talking about the Coach Osmond days, right?
Yes, that's right.
And those are some big wins.
I think it's the biggest win since.
Let me ask this question. It was at Glencoe. Was it loud when they scored? Because they can turn it up, that music underneath that metal.
It was loud.
I mean, you can't hear yourself.
Well, and the thing with Glencoe too, they always have the student section gets right on
that speaker.
On the top of that speaker. It's right there on the edge of the fence, and usually there's a buffer between the field and the bleachers. There is no. It's kind of like Alexandria a little bit, maybe even a little bit closer, honestly, because those bleachers are right behind, so they're on top of it. Great atmosphere.
You know, coaches don't want to look ahead, but I like to look ahead. And I'll just tell you, for the first time in a while, the Glencoe Hoax Bluff game might be something to see this year. That's Hoax Bluff.
Could be some emotions involved in that one.
Yeah, could be something to see.
But it's a non-region.
It don't matter.
Chad said it. Glencoe Hoax Bluff.
That was quick. It don't matter.
It doesn't matter, that's for sure. No. It's time for our first extra point. Speaking of big second quarters, you know, Glencoe had 28 points in the second quarter. Not to disparage Glencoe, but that ain't nothing. Because last week's 56-27 Wadley win over Fayetteville in our extra point tonight, presented by State Representative Randy Wood out of District 36. The Wolves scored the first 21 points of the game, and they led Wadley 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Wadley scored the next 56 points all in the second quarter last week down at Wadley to take a 56-21 halftime lead. The number one ranked team in 1A scored 7 touchdowns and 7 two-point conversions all in the second quarter. You folks just think about that for the next couple of minutes, and we'll be back with more of After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
It's game time, and your home deserves a winning play.
At Ted's Floors and Beyond, we're your home renovation MVP. Scoring big with top quality cabinets, flooring, countertops, and tile.
Whether you're tackling a full remodel or just need new floors before kickoff, we've got unbeatable deals, including 0% interest for 12 months and free in-home estimates.
Don't fumble your dream home. Hustle in a Ted's today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Looking for top-tier tumbling and cheer in East Alabama? Cheehaw Cheer and Tumble has programs for every age and skill level. We offer small group tumbling, tot and preschool classes, and even custom training for school cheer teams. Planning a party? Let us host it. And our nationally recognized all-star teams train right here at home. Join the Cheehaw family, where confidence takes root and champions are made. Visit CheehawCheerandTumble.com today.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated. Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Earlier in the night, we kicked off our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship program again. And that voting begins at 12 midnight and a little bit over an hour away at our Facebook page at High School Football Alabama. Farmers and Merchants Bank has given away over $33,000 in scholarships to local high school students in just the last 7 years. And they, of course, they offer those Spirit debit cards for every school in Calhoun and Cherokee counties. Great folks at Farmers and Merchants Bank. They also bring you our Player of the Week. And, of course, that was Keyshawn Woods of Cherokee County High School. Got a plaque headed his way. We've got all the final scores now. So we're going to head back to our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard, get you caught up on all the final scores. Hoax Bluff has never lost to White Plains. Didn't happen tonight, but boy, was it a great game. Hoax Bluff tonight beats White Plains 35-28. Hoax Bluff without, we'll talk about this a little bit later on, Drew McCarver. Injury, not playing tonight, but Hoax Bluff does beat White Plains 35-28. Highlights of that game coming. Donahoe and Wadley, a forfeit win by Wadley. Donahoe forfeits the game earlier in the week because of injuries and sickness. So number one, Wadley will remain undefeated at 4-0. Donahoe will remain winless at 0-4. Highlights of this game coming. Homecoming tonight down at Hope Christian in Oxford. Crenshaw Christian from Luverne down in Crenshaw County. They beat Hope Christian tonight 33-0. What a game. It was a long game. Lasted to almost 10 o'clock tonight. Oxford tonight at Willie Adams Stadium in Pinson. They beat Pinson Valley 41-40. A long game tonight over at Pinson, but Oxford comes back with the win in Class 6A Region 6. You saw the highlights earlier. Glencoe shutting out Wellborn tonight 42-0. Wellborn had won 6 games in a row in the series, but not tonight. It's now 6 out of 7 as Glencoe wins it 42-0. We will have complete highlights and post-game reaction from Lott Mosby Memorial Stadium. Our Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance Game of the Week. Number 5 in 4A Anniston beating number 9 Alexandria 20-18. This game lived up to all the hype. A great 4A game tonight at Lott Mosby. We'll have highlights, complete post-game reaction coming from Coach Short in that game. Another great game tonight out at Sachs. Weaver and Sachs trying to already stay alive for a playoff berth in Class 3A Region 6. Weaver wins it tonight. Great game out at Sachs tonight. Weaver 28, Sachs 24. We will have highlights of that game coming from out at Jack Stewart Field. We got all this straightened out for you. J.B. Pennington beat Ohatchee tonight on the Creek Bank at Ohatchee by a score of 42 to 14. Blake Jennings, head coach of the Ohatchee Indians, will be here. I just got a text from him, so I'll let our folks in the back there know that he is going to be here in about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes out, Coach Blake Jennings of the Ohatchee Indians. Highlights of this game coming as J.B. Pennington beats Ohatchee 42-14 tonight on the Creek Bank. Jacksonville gets a big region win in 5A Region 6. They go to Center Point. They beat the Eagles tonight in a battle of birds tonight. Jacksonville, the Golden Eagles, win it 42-9 over Center Point. Jacksonville Christian, this is a new score. They remain undefeated. They go to Pelham tonight and beat Trinity Homeschool by a score of 52-14. It was Pisgah beating Pleasant Valley, handing the Raiders their first loss of the season. A top 5 matchup at Sam Kennemer Stadium in Pisgah tonight, where Pisgah beats Pleasant Valley 44-20. Last night, you saw the highlights a little bit. We're going to have more highlights coming up. We had Coach Vaughn Lee of the Cleveland County Tigers live in studio. Cleveland County beats Talladega last night 29-8. Tonight, Reeltown, defending state champion in Class 2A, at home tonight. Nix Webster, I'm missing one. Nix Webster Stadium in Ranburne. They beat the Ranburne Bulldogs tonight 56-7. Also, Woodland tonight beats the Gaston Bulldogs 34-12 over at Sewell Field at Woodland. Randolph County and Dadeville. This was a score we were missing. You talk about some crazy games tonight. Here's another one. Randolph County at home in Wedowee. They beat the Dadeville Tigers tonight. Battle of Tigers 35-34 is the final tonight from down in Wedowee. Hanley blasting St. James tonight in Roanoke at right field 42-0. Central of Clay County winning tonight. They are now 3-1, rolling along number 7 in 5A at Volunteer Stadium. They beat the Marbury Bulldogs 39-14. Another wild game in that same region. Beauregard beats Sylacauga tonight down at Beauregard. Beauregard wins it 34-30 tonight down in Lee County at Beauregard. Winneboro and Fayetteville tell you, Fayetteville's got a good football team. That might be the most underrated team in Class 1A in this state. Fayetteville at home lost to number 8 Winterboro 28-14. They have given Wadley a lot. They have given Winterboro all they could handle tonight, but Winterboro does win the game 28-14 down at Farm Links Field at Fayetteville. Glenwood wins tonight at Childersburg 49-12. Tomorrow afternoon at 3:30, the Alabama School for the Deaf will be in Indianapolis, Indiana, taking on the Orioles. Not the Baltimore Orioles, the Indiana School for the Deaf Orioles. They'll host ASD tomorrow in Indianapolis. Bullock County comes into Munford. They beat the Lions tonight 56-21. You see that right there? Bullock County's best start in 51 years. This is the first time that Bullock County has been 4-0 since 1974. They might win this region in 4A Region 3. They beat Munford tonight 56-21. Leeds, number 6 team in 5A. They beat the Lincoln Golden Bears tonight over at Leeds 45-15. Here's maybe the shocker of the night. Pell City tonight at home. They beat the Mountain Brook Spartans, number 9 team in Class 6A, by a score of 10-3. Mountain Brook had won every meeting with Pell City, but not tonight. One of the biggest wins. We talk about a big win for Glencoe tonight. Another team wearing black and gold, Pell City, gets one of their biggest wins in more than a decade as Pell City beats Mountain Brook tonight 10-3. Now we can go to that Moody St. Clair County score. St. Clair County in the top 10, maybe now out of the top 10. Number 9 St. Clair County comes down 4-11 to take on number 2 Moody. Moody wins it 55-0 tonight at Bill Morris Stadium. Springville traveling down to Irvington in Mobile County to take on the Alma Bryant Hurricanes. The Hurricanes winning over Springville tonight 44-24 is the final from down in Mobile County. Asheville, for the second year in a row, has beaten the Aniana Redskins, and this time they did it at Gilbert Stadium in Aniana. Asheville scores with 2:37 to go in the game. They go for 2. They get the 2-point conversion. I know my friend Kevin Moore is happy tonight because his Asheville Bulldogs beat Aniana 22-21. Aniana was a much improved team. That is a big win. You want to talk about a big win for teams? Glencoe, Pell City, Asheville, that is a big win for Mark Sanders and the Bulldogs at Aniana tonight. Southeastern shuts out Raglan tonight, 34-0 over in Rimlap. Sandrock gets the first win of the Tanner Nelson. He's a young coach that I really like a lot up at Sandrock. They beat Section 35-12 tonight. Cherokee County Warriors, they roll at Attala tonight at Jim Glover Field. They beat the Etowah Blue Devils 38-14. Appalachian tonight shutting out the Gainesville Trojans up on Straight Mountain Appalachian 56-0. Jack Sintel, good running back for Gainesville, injured last week, out. A major reason why Gainesville did not score tonight as Appalachian wins that game 56-0. North Sand Mountain. You start talking about Class 2A Region 7. We talked a lot about Pleasant Valley. We've talked a lot about Pisgah, rightfully so. Look out for North Sand Mountain. The Bison, the Thundering Herd tonight, or last night on a Thursday night game at home in Higdon. They beat Cedar Bluff 34-6. For the first time ever tonight, Joel Poole and the Woodville Panthers beat the Spring Garden Panthers, ranked number 9 in the state in 1A, by a score of 41-26. I spoke to the Woodville football team at a 7-on-7 this summer over in Rainbow City. They had some good-looking athletes. I could tell from talking with Coach Poole he thought he had a pretty good team, and indeed they do. Look at that. Woodville 3-1, beating Spring Garden tonight for the first time ever. I think Spring Garden had won 13 in a row and never had lost to Woodville. Woodville wins at 41-26. Fort Payne tonight got out to a 28-0 lead. They beat Southside 28-6 tonight up at Fort Payne. That's one of those games that is going to have a big bearing on who goes to the playoffs and whether it's home and away in that game up at Fort Payne tonight. Westbrook Christian, we can talk about it now. It's next week. Westbrook Christian tonight beat Locust Fort 53-7. We will have highlights of that game coming from Rainbow City. That was a big revenge game for Westbrook, and they get it tonight as they beat Locust Fork 53-7. Coosa Christian, no problem tonight at home in Gadsden. Number 6 team in 2A beating Falkville 26-0. Susan Moore and West End, battle of 278 West tonight out at Walnut Grove. Susan Moore wins it 42-26. Gunnersville, number 5 team in 5A, all over the Sardis Lions tonight, 49-12. 2 big games around the state in 3A and 3 big games in 7A. Here are the 3A games. Number 4 TR Miller in an in-county game in Escambia County tonight in Bruton. They beat number 9 Flomaton 27-10. Come to West Alabama, where Gordo tonight, number 5 team in 3A, beat number 10 Winfield tonight 35-21. 3 big games in 7A tonight. Number 1 Central of Phoenix City doubles up a very good Dothan team, ranked number 7 in the state, 56-28 tonight. Also, Hewitt-Trussville goes into Hoover. They beat Hoover by a score of 17-14. And then also tonight, the last game in Class 7A, big state game tonight. Number 5 Vestavia Hills beating Hillcrest Tuscaloosa by a score of 42-24. All right, I'm going to drop my papers here and tell you about WM. Oh, wow. They tonight, WM Grocery over in Heflin. They're in Heflin. They're in Piedmont. They're in Roanoke and Wedowee. Coach Short.
It's 2 weeks in a row you've eaten.
Yes, I'm eating a lot. They brought a taco bar tonight. At this taco bar, they had beef tonight, and they also had chicken tonight, chicken fajita. They had all the toppings. They had the
Mexican dip.
Mexican dip.
It's good.
Oh, wow. They had all the chips and salsa in there. I'm telling you, folks, I don't know if you can see it. They had the tomatoes and the lettuce and the cheese. If you would love a spread like this, who wouldn't love a spread like this? The catering over at WM Grocery is phenomenal. This is from Miss Kay Harris and the crew over there. Coach, you may have to take over. I got an extra point coming up, but beforehand.
I want to watch it. They do all. If I need catering done,
that's the chicken.
They do it. That's the chicken, the grilled chicken. Yes.
The grilled chicken. If you want a spread like that for your tailgate,
yeah,
they'll do it. High school tailgating is a thing.
I go by there for lunch.
Yeah.
Just to eat lunch.
College tailgating, just want to have a big spread at your house. I'm telling you, they will set you up with a taco bar.
It don't matter. Weddings, it don't matter. They do it all.
So just keep talking.
And it's real good. Well, he's speechless, guys. It's taking food, but he's
speechless because it's so good.
It is good, and they've been doing it for years. They do, they actually do. Coach Lee went in there to get something to eat, and he said, "This is WM, isn't it? It's real good." So he knew just because they do Cleveland County's football too. They do a lot of that.
They fed our friends from Cheehaw Cheer and Tumble tonight.
Yes.
They fed all of our staff. They're going to feed Coach Blake Jennings from Ohatchee when he arrives in a moment. And I'm ill-mannered because I'm always eating on the air, eating with my mouth. But anyway.
That's okay.
I'll try to get through our next Randy Wood, State Representative out of District 36, extra point. Let me swallow, guys. Now you can take that. Here we go. And here's our next extra point of the night. Talk about big numbers, folks. Susan Moore quarterback Sam Garrison led the Bulldogs to a 66-50 victory over Cold Springs last Friday night with, get this, folks, a record-setting 9 touchdowns accounted for. He was 8 of 13 passing for 319 yards and 5 touchdowns. He also rushed for 222 yards and 4 touchdowns on 15 attempts. My math tells me that that's like 541 yards of total offense. He's only a sophomore. He also converted 5 two-point conversions. His 64 points accounted for ranks second in the AHSAA all-time, ever. And his 9 TDs accounted for is also tied for second ever in state history. That happened last Friday night between Susan Moore and Cold Springs. Back with more of After the Game in just a moment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did. We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
Throughout the night, you see our Emblem Credit Union bottom line as we roll all the final scores in East Alabama, the big statewide scores across the bottom of your screen throughout the night. Also, a little bit later on, we'll take a look at our Emblem Credit Union Band of the Week. We'll show you them a little bit later on. Emblem Credit Union, let me just tell you about the folks there. Their membership is so easy. Here's how it is. If you live, work, or go to school in Calhoun, Cherokee, DeKalb, Etowah, or Marshall counties, you are eligible to join Emblem Credit Union. That's it. You go to emblemcu.com to get started and go see our fine friends at Emblem Credit Union. Let's tell you about our Anniston Orthopedics Comeback Player of the Week, Damian King of Gadsden City High School. Coach Ali Smith was telling Coach Short and myself back in media days in the summer about Damian King. Tore his ACL, had surgery for that. He's a big guy. He's a defensive lineman for the Titans. And he came back from all that. He was going to play a lot last year. He's a big-time player for the Titans this year. And Gadsden City had an open date tonight. But not only did he battle back to become a starting defensive lineman for the 6A Titans, but Damian right there, let me tell you what else. That guy has a 4.2 GPA as well. Our comeback player of the week, coming back from that ACL surgery in the offseason and coming back to be a strong starter on the defensive line for Coach Ali Smith and the Gadsden City Titans. Damian King, our Anniston Orthopedics comeback player of the week. Back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game here on this Football Friday night, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We're coming to you tonight from the Sound Solutions Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Midtown Anniston. And it is now that time of night where we have our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser, bringing you guests live and in studio every Friday night. And this Friday night, we've already had Vaughn Lee of the Cleveland County Tigers. Now we're joined by another familiar face in the coaching community here in East Alabama, Coach Blake Jennings, the Ohatchee Indians. Coach, glad to have you with us tonight.
Sir.
Thank you for coming.
Having me. Yes,
tough region game tonight at home. J.B. Pennington comes in. They win the game 42-14. But, you know, Coach, as we were talking about, I'm a firm believer. I think everybody in this whole room is a firm believer in this. There's not a negative to high school football. You have better nights than some nights. You have some nights when you're down. But high school football is such a positive thing, and I know what a positive guy you are, that there's always positives to be found regardless of what the outcome is on the scoreboard on Friday night. So that's where we want to start talking about is some of the positives.
Yeah, yes, sir. You know, Gus goes out of the game for us in the third quarter, and then one of the big positives is Carson Sanders comes in for us at quarterback and takes us down the field, throws a few passes. We end up scoring a touchdown late there. We caught all our kickoffs this week on the kickoff return, so that was one thing we talked about. So there was some of that stuff that was some positives, and, you know, seeing a couple of guys step up in those roles tonight. Just got a long ways to go with, you know, a group of inexperienced guys and guys that hadn't played a whole lot of football for, you know, on Friday nights, and that's where we're at right now, and we just have to keep showing up every day, and those kids have to keep showing up and going to work.
A lot of new at Ohatchee, even though you're not a new guy at Ohatchee, but you've been gone for a couple of years out at White Plains as head coach, coming back in, and this time you're coming back in as the head guy.
Right.
And then, obviously, even though they didn't play for you last year, they lost 17 players off a state playoff team last year. So, as you said, there was a lot of new things going on this year at Ohatchee.
You know, they had 16, 17 seniors last year, so the guys that come into play and have played on Friday night for us are Gus, you know, Gus Hunter and Braxton Davis. They started on both sides of the ball for them last year. And, you know, Ethan Jones got a little bit of playing time at a linebacker, and Jaden Sigler played a little bit of outside linebacker for them, and Quinn Nunley played some defensive tackle. But other than that, that's the only guys that have stepped on the field on Friday night, you know, when we went into that first game this year against New Hope. And now we've got 4 games under our belt. We've got a little more experience. But you know how the year goes, you start getting a little banged up, and now you really start getting some really young guys on the field. You know, look out there one time tonight, we've got an 9th grader starting it. You know, he's at left guard for us. When Ethan, he's our center, and he goes down with something to do with his elbow. So it's one of those things where we as coaches have to keep going back every single day and you know, going through, the kids have to learn those fundamentals and learning the fundamentals of football, and, you know, because some of them are being thrown into the fire, and they just got to keep showing up every day. And that's one thing we haven't questioned anything with our kids is our effort. You know, their effort's been great. They show up to practice every day. I thought Tuesday and Wednesday may have been our best practices of the year. But you just, you know, you keep showing up for those kids because they keep showing up for us as coaches, and you keep believing in them, and they're doing the right things in the weight room every day, and they're going in there, they're putting in that work, and that's all you can ask, and that's where you got it. That's where it's got to start when, you know, when you're this inexperienced.
Coach, I would say that, and you can agree or disagree with me, that 75% of people, maybe 80% of the people that have watched your game tonight never played a down of football.
Probably so.
But they're going to sit there a lot of times and they will say they're not trying, or they're just no good. There's no difference in your kids that come to practice every day than a kid at Piedmont or Westbrook Christian.
Right.
They're giving everything they have, and as long as they keep giving everything they have, and I know you're going to demand that, they're going to eventually get it turned around.
That's right.
And what they learned today, for all you fans out there, what they're learning in tonight's loss is going to help them when they lose something in the future.
Right.
And they become better men for it.
That's exactly right. And that's what this game teaches you, and that's what we tell those kids. We demand a lot of them every single day, and, you know, we're tough on those kids, but it's like I tell them, you know, it's tough love. And sometimes, you know, we call it tough love because love has teeth sometimes, and that is tough love. And as coaches, that's the way we're going to coach these guys, and we're going to be tough on them. We're going to make them be disciplined. You know, then we're going to put our arm around their neck and, you know, tell them we love them after. And it's just, you know, just got to keep doing it. Got to keep showing up every single day and putting in that work. And these guys, you know, we only have 4 seniors that are playing for us right now. We have 5 seniors on the team, 4 of them start. And, you know, these other group, these guys behind them are all going to be there with us next year. So, you know, so we just, you know, keep playing and keep chipping away at it every day.
And those younger ones that are playing, they got to play right now for those 4 seniors.
Right.
Because they deserve it too.
That's exactly
They deserve
right.
that chance. They put their years in as Ohatchee Indians, and they deserve everybody to get behind them because, you know, a lot of times people think, well, we're working toward next year. No, we're working toward next week.
Exactly right.
If you don't get next week, then next year's not going to happen.
That's exactly right. You know, that's the thing. Ethan Jones and Quinn Nunley, those 2 guys are playing good for us on the offensive line. You've got Austin Carroll, who never played football, who's a senior out there playing for us. You know, he's out there every snap. He didn't get to play last week because of a knee injury. And then Caden Mann, he didn't play football last year. So you really have 2 seniors that are playing that played on this team last year, and neither one of them started. So you're really inexperienced even with those seniors, but this is their guys, you know, they may only have 6 games left. And so they're, you know, we got to be there for those 4 and 5 seniors every single day. Like you said, you got to show up for those guys. And our younger guys are working towards that. And they do a good job of it. You know, Gus does a good job leading us. and getting us in that direction. He's only a junior. Braxton does the same thing. We've even got some other younger ones, 10th grader, Phoenix Tuliasega. He's doing a really good job for us, but he's only a 10th grader, and he's been thrown into the fire of having to play starting at a wing back, but then he also starts at free safety. Yeah. You know, so that's a lot on a 10th grader, you know, coming into this thing and having to play both ways. And that's kind of where we're at right now, where we probably play 9 guys both ways. We only got, you know, we do. We play 9 guys both ways. And tonight I get a little frustrated during the timeout, and I told this to the coaches over the headset. You know, I'm that guy, you know, when they kick a PAT and, you know, you sprint off the field. Well, all the guys are kind of just jogging to the numbers, and I start to get a little upset. And then I see one guy run off because everybody's going to talk to Coach Williamson to go to kickoff return. Yeah. 10 of the 11. So I'm like, don't scream at them, Blake. You know, there's no reason to right now. Just because of where we are. And that's one thing we talked about after the game for our 9th and our 10th graders who aren't getting to play as much, and how important it is for them to show up every single day in the weight room and, you know, eating right and gaining weight and doing all those things to help themselves for next year, to you know, to be able to give us some of that depth. Because right now we just don't have the depth, and just because the kids, some of those kids aren't ready yet, and they're getting there. And those kids are working hard, and we'll continue to push them, and they're going to be just fine.
Coach, I was at your game when you played Piedmont.
Yes.
Last week, and
I put that one out of my memory.
Which game?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the one thing the first thing I noticed when I got there is, first of all, I couldn't find a place to park.
Right.
Yeah. And it was terrible trying to find a place to park. But the reason why is because, yeah, there's a lot of people from Piedmont there.
Mm-hmm.
The coast, them Ohatchee Indian people,
yeah,
they're going to show up, and they were just as crowded.
That's
and
right.
most, probably 90% of them up there think it's not going to be good.
Right.
But they're still there.
Right. You know, those people show up every Friday night. It's always a great atmosphere. You know, they're always there for us. And like you said, there was a bunch of people there tonight, you know, and got a group that got beat like we did last week, and still people are still showing up because, you know, they're there for those kids, and that's what matters the most.
Indians.
That's exactly right. Yes, sir.
Coach, I know you've been a head coach before, obviously out at White Plains. You were at Ohatchee for a good number of years, for a long time. Some of the kids, those older guys, now those 4 or 5 seniors, you knew those guys because they were youngsters when you were out there.
Yes, sir.
But still, in every profession, whether it be coaching, whether it be you're a business manager, you're a guy that's the manager of Walmart or whatever it is, there is a difference, though, when you become the head guy.
Right.
And even though you had head coaching experience and you've been at Ohatchee for a long time, coming back as the head coach and not an assistant coach, there is a difference, Coach. What's it been like coming back and being the head coach of the Ohatchee Indians?
I think it's been a great transition, honestly, because you got people on staff still. John Williamson, he was there with us even before I left, and Coach Williamson does a really good job with their offensive line. Kevin Williamson, his son, teaches history there for us, and he's there, and he was kind of helping before I left too, helping with outside linebackers, and so now Kevin's back. He coaches our secondary. He was with me at White Plains at the time. You know, so knowing those 2 guys, Coach Hurd, he was on staff while I was there. So when you walk back in the office, it was like it's all the guys you always knew. And then David Beagle was there with us for 1 year, and so we hired David as our basketball coach, and he coaches our linebackers. And so I've worked with a bunch of these guys. The one guy I had not worked with, but I went to school with, was Jacob Welch. You know, he's our defensive coordinator, and we hired him as our baseball coach. He's doing a great job. So us trying to work together as a staff, I'm trying to get to know a couple of them, you know, some of these guys that I didn't know. Hunter Crider wasn't there before I left, you know, but, and Jesse Clark even helped us. I think it was in 20 or 21. I can't remember what year it was. So the guys that are there were on the staff when I was there, everybody except Jacob, except for Coach Welch and except for Coach Crider. So it's been pretty easy in that part of the transition. But like you said, as a head coach, as an assistant coach, there's a Grand Canyon between the 2. I don't care what you're doing. There's a Grand Canyon between the 2, and you figure that out.
When you become the boss, doesn't matter how many times you've been the assistant, even the top assistant. When you become the boss, it's a big difference.
And it gets tough sometimes when that Grand Canyon you just talked about is full of water.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're thinking, I can't keep my head above water.
There's a big difference between the 2, because then as an assistant, you get to watch film all the time, and you're constantly breaking down stuff, and you know you've got it figured out from a scheme perspective. Whereas a head coach, you've got 1,000 other things to worry about when it comes to these kids, and building relationships with those kids and every one of them, and figuring out what's going on at home with those kids, and trying to help them in that way. And, all the other little things that come along with it, along with still having to scheme it up and call the offense and, do all that stuff. So it is a big difference. But I do think, being a third-year head coach, you learn organization, you learn those skills a lot better. And that's one thing that's helped me, is just becoming more organized over these last few years, from the start of that, that first time being a head coach 3 years ago.
Well, before we let Coach get out of here and get some tacos in him, because he probably hasn't anything to eat all night, let me just say something to all the fans out there that are watching. If you haven't been in a coaching family like I was my entire life growing up, and these guys have lived the coaching life for many, many years, you don't realize and have an appreciation for how tough it is to do what this man right here came and did tonight, because he drove from Ohatchee to downtown Anniston after a loss tonight, and to then come and be on the big show around the state that everybody sits here and watches on Friday night and all those kind of things. That takes, I got a lot of respect for that, because that is not the easy thing to do. And Coach, I appreciate you coming and being with us tonight and sharing about Ohatchee football.
Thank y'all for having me.
Let me tell you, Ohatchee folks, this is the guy. He's going to do a lot of great things at Ohatchee, so just get ready for it. Ohatchee tonight losing to JV Pennington 42-14, but there are bright days ahead, good things happening, even right now at Ohatchee and in the time to come. Well, let's tell you about the fine folks at Team One Chevrolet of Gadsden. We've got region rundown, and it's going to be crazy tonight when we start looking through all these regions, 1A through 6A here in East Alabama. And the folks at Team One Chevrolet, great supporters of high school football. Right now, all their new 2026 Equinoxes and Blazers, there's 1.9% financing. Great for football season, for tailgating, taking the kids, getting them out of school, going on the college and high school road trips to see the teams play, and a great service department on top of that. Team One Chevrolet of Gadsden, U.S. Highway 431 right there on East Meagan Boulevard in East Gadsden. We'll be back with a ton of highlights still to come. Got Team of the Week, our East Alabama Top 10, Team One Chevrolet of Gadsden Region Rundown, all still to come as we roll on this Football Friday night.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
This spring and summer, get it done right with Oxford Lumber, your hometown partner for projects big or small. From refreshing your garden to upgrading your outdoor space, we've got everything you need. Check out our full garden center and gear up on our Stihl showroom, chainsaws, blowers, trimmers, and more. Ready to grill? We've got Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone to fire up the fun. Since 1985, Oxford Lumber has been built on tradition and focused on you. Visit us today at any of our 5 locations: Oxford, Roanoke, Talladega, Jacksonville, and Lincoln. Oxford Lumber, where you're treated like family.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you. The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware bringing you our highlights here on Football Friday nights. They are your local source for Benjamin Moore paint. Trusted by pros, loved by homeowners, and known for unbeatable quality and coverage. They have the perfect color because they use advanced computer color matching to get it just right. They are the most experienced paint department in the area. Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware, where quality meets color and neighbors help neighbors. We're back on this Football Friday night, and we are going to take you out to our Core Sports Medicine Play of the Night from last week. We'll have this week's posted at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, but we want to take you out to last week's Play of the Night. We didn't have to wait long for this one out at Lou Scales Stadium in Larry Ginn Field. MJ Morris takes the opening kickoff of the game against White Plains out at Death Valley last Friday night. 91 yards for the touchdown. That was our Core Sports Medicine Play of the Night. We've got some good ones coming up. We got a lot to choose from tonight. We'll post that at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on our Facebook page, High School Football Alabama after the game. Watch for that around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning for our Play of the Night. And here's the thing. You, the fans, are going to decide our Play of the Year because we're going to take all of these plays of the night, and at the end of the regular season, we're going to vote for a couple of weeks, and you're going to choose our Play of the Year. Chad Barnett, Coach Michael Short join us here. Had a pretty competitive game tonight. You were at this game as well, out at Jack Stewart Field. Two teams that really needed a win tonight, especially a region win in 3A Region 6, Weaver and Sachs tonight.
Yeah, we got there. It's just one of the, you weren't really sure what you're going to walk into. Weaver Bearcats last week hung very tight against Welborn until the second half. They entered tonight's matchup at Jack Stewart Field in Sachs, relying on the idea that the season is still young, Coach. They still have something to play for if they can start with a win tonight. Let's go to the highlights, Jack Stewart Field, and check out this one and see how it played out. 15-0 was the score at the half as we arrive. Weaver would be on top. Showing you the sideline, I counted 10. 10 guys on the sideline with the 11 on the field. Talking about low numbers, but boy, I tell you what, this is what's impressive about this. They're down 15-0. They got 10 guys on the sideline. Does not matter. Sachs came to play in the second half. Delontis Allen for 18 yards and a first down for Sachs. They're going to have a 4th and inches here, and Weaver's going to jump off sides, give them a first down, and keep this drive going. They're going to do push-ups on the field for punishment, and the drive would stay alive for Sachs. Crook, he's going to put this one in to the end zone. 2-point conversion was stopped. It's going to be 15-6. Weaver on top. Ensuing possession, a pooch kick. And, Coach, you're not going to like this one, I don't think. I don't think many coaches would. That ball's going to stay in bounds, and Sachs is going to pounce on it. That would be talked about by the officials. Going to be called a first down for the Wildcats. Jaden Culpepper, this time he's going to take it. Beautiful pass and catch here, and he is not going to be denied. Pulling people into the end zone. Culpepper in for 6. Again, 2-point conversion, no good. It's 15-12. These kids are fighting. But Weaver would start to flex their muscle just a little bit here. Taylon Green, tough first down run. He was determined to get this drive started for the Bearcats. First down for Weaver. And then Junior Allen, he's going to take this in for a touchdown. Pushing it back to 21-12 as a score at this point. Touchdown T-shirts would go flying thanks to the folks at RO Supply. And the Bearcats take the lead. There's a couple good shots there. They take the lead. They do take the win. They eke it out tonight. But like you said, John, much closer than what we would have expected, 28-24.
Weaver wins. I tell you, I've been impressed with some of the arms of these cheerleaders throwing out our RO Supply touchdown T-shirts this year.
The last one was left-handed, and one of them she pitches.
Maybe so.
Check and see.
I'll tell you something else. I think that maybe that kickoff return or lack thereof might not be the play of the week.
It's not going to be the play of the week. No, we have some really good options this week.
We do. Yes, some
McMurray from Glencoe, and there's one we have not seen yet. It is fantastic.
Let me just say, if you got to be old like me, but hey, George Teague, 92, national championship
One of the
game against
first
Miami.
football
We
memories I
got
have.
something coming up.
It's similar.
Very similar
It's
to
similar.
that coming
Stakes
up.
a little lower.
A little lower.
But it's
yeah.
as impressive. It's pretty good.
All right, now let's talk about our concession stand of the week. Coach, you've been waiting a couple weeks on this one. Then we're going to take you out to Southside, the pride of Southside Marching Band Booster Club. We were there a couple of weeks ago, and folks, I'm just going to say, when I say the words "the weave," that's not going to mean anything to you. It might scare you a little bit when it comes to talking about concession stand food, but this video is going to explain it as we take you out to Barney Hood Stadium. We are here at Barney Hood Stadium in Southside, the Southside Band Booster Club, the pride of Southside, and there are the concession stand of the week. And we have Katie Bodiford here. She's the vice president of the Booster Club. Her husband Keith is the president, but you're kind of the concession stand queen, right?
The queen. I like that, and I'll take that.
Tell us about this item we're about to see here, the weave. Describe that.
So last year we did a competition between our two band directors, and we said we want to feature some sort of special something in the concession stand, and we had them come up with whatever they wanted. One was a barbecue mac and cheese, respectable, but our band director Matt Weaver said, I want French fries, hot crinkle fries, covered in Philly cheesesteak meat with queso and maybe onions and peppers. I'm like, wow. We put that on there, and it sold like hotcakes, and it's been on our menu ever since.
All the money you raise here obviously goes to help the band, the pride of Southside. What kind of things do they use the money for?
We do it for uniforms, instruments, anything that will help these kids. They put in more work than people realize. They spend their summer out on a hot practice field practicing for this game and this show, and we just want to do whatever we can to support them. We're so proud of them.
Well, we've got a $100 gift card coming from Johnson's Giant Food to you to help out with the concessions here. Thank you very much. Good-looking food here. We encourage people, when you come to Southside on Friday nights, visit the Pride of Southside concession stand. Thank you.
John, appreciate it. Thank you.
We are at Barney Hood Stadium in Southside. It is the Pride of Southside Band. They are going to be our concession stand of the week this week with Johnson's Giant Food. We've got a $100 gift card coming their way. Coach Michael Short, Don Wilson. Guys, I'm going to unveil what we got for you. This is a Southside special. This is called the Weave. This is something the band director here, Mr. Weaver, came up with a couple years ago. Let me just show you this. This is French fries, crinkle cut fries. You got Philly cheesesteak meat, queso on top of that. Got some kind of onions, I think, on the side here. Got you a fork here, guys. Here we go. Southside Band Boosters concession stand of the week. Got some little some toppings on that. Some onion. Coach is just going to go ahead and pour it all on there. I don't know if this is a fork or if this is just pick it up with your fingers and eat. But guys, dig in. I have to say this looks mighty good. Don's not wasting any time over there. This is fresh grilled, as you will have seen, or will see. It smells good. It looks good, guys. What about the taste, Don?
This place is always electrifying when we come over here, John. And these things are electric as well.
Electrifying food here at Southside. And Coach Short, this is the Weave. What about the Weave?
He said it's electrifying. I said it is satisfying.
Electrifying and satisfying. The Weave. This is a Southside special. When you come in to Barney Hood Stadium, take a turn to the right, come to that concession stand, and that is going to be this Pride of Southside Band concession stand, and this is what you'll get. The Weave. They got a lot of other items, but this is the Weave here, something I've never seen before. Guys, last comments before you finish this off.
Phenomenal.
Tremendous.
The concession stand of the week this week, the Pride of Southside Band here at Barney Hood Stadium. Yeah, there's the Weave, folks. That's that. You know what the Weave. Look at the steak there. They put the queso on top of it. The steak on top of the French fries. They fresh cook the French fries there. Katie and Keith Bodiford, they are the folks there, and there's the folks giving us a big go Pride of Southside. Coach, I don't even know what to say about the Weave. It was just an amazing dish.
I don't have the earpiece. Why do they call it a Weave?
Okay, the band director, his last name is Weaver. So they call it Matt Weaver's the band director. So they let him kind of come up with this. He said, what would you like to have? And so Oh, how about some fries with some steak on top and some queso on top, and then maybe a little bit of peppers and onions there.
That's one heck of a name. I
was scared at first. And I said, it's the week.
I was too, but not after I've eaten it.
Nah, it looked really good.
What are the odds of our friends from Host Bluff? Booster Club guy walking right by and looking at me like, what are you doing?
Our Johnson's Giant Food concession stand of the year last year was Host Bluff.
It's like you're cheating on
an
old girlfriend.
At the Host Bluff, so the Host Bluff comes by and goes, what are y'all doing here? Johnson's Giant Food bringing you our concession stand of the week. They get a $100 gift card from Johnson's, who, by the way, is about to open up a new location right there on Highway 77 in Southside. So all you Southside folks, go check them out. Time for our next Extra Point, presented by Randy Wood, State Representative out of District 32. Our theme this week for the Extra Points is big numbers. Okay, last Friday night, Dothan rolled up 664 yards and 10 touchdowns on the ground. Added 69 yards passing. That gave the Wolves 773 total yards, ranks the third most in AHSA history. Now, that rushing yards, total yards third, rushing yards fourth most in state history. Both are 7A state records. Dothan set a school record for points with 69, and those 69 points are also the most points ever scored against an Enterprise team, which of course has a
long way back.
Yeah, they have a great storied program at Enterprise. Kudos to Dothan, and that's our Extra Point, presented by State Representative Randy Wood out of District 36. Ton of highlights still to come on this Football Friday night.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Looking for top-tier tumbling and cheer in East Alabama? Cheehaw Cheer and Tumble has programs for every age and skill level. We offer small group tumbling, tot and preschool classes, and even custom training for school cheer teams. Planning a party? Let us host it. And our nationally recognized all-star teams train right here at home. Join the Cheehaw family, where confidence takes root and champions are made. Visit CheehawCheerandTumble.com today.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed Vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
It's game time, and your home deserves a winning play.
At Ted's Floors and Beyond, we're your home renovation MVP. Scoring big with top quality cabinets, flooring, countertops, and tile.
Whether you're tackling a full remodel or just need new floors before kickoff, we've got unbeatable deals, including 0% interest for 12 months and free in-home estimates.
Don't fumble your dream home. Hustle and attach today.
Jacksonville State University also bringing you highlights every Friday night here on After the Game. Affordability, that's a great word to describe Jacksonville State University. It's a big concern for college parents now. To get a high-quality education at a price that will not break the bank, Jacksonville State is the way to go. They've got a variety of scholarship, grants, financial aid options, and they're committed to helping you achieve your dreams without the burden of overwhelming debt. Jacksonville State University, come see for yourself. We tell you every week, we'll continue telling you throughout the season to go visit JSU. Schedule your visit at jsu.edu/visit. Back on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. John Holder, Chad Barnett, Coach Michael Short, coming to you tonight from our Sound Solutions Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Parker Memorial, great host here, showing great hospitality to our Sachs cheerleaders here tonight, and Sound Solutions bringing you our media center here on these football Friday nights. Some Thursday night football last night. Earlier, we had Coach Vaughn Lee of the Cleveland County Tigers in the house. Last night, Coach Short and myself down at Mary Dumas Stadium in Talladega for a little Thursday night region game between Cleveland County and Talladega, and we've got another big candidate for our Core Sports Medicine play of the night in this game.
You got that right, no doubt. You actually told me about it earlier in the night, and I was like, well, we'll see. Saw the highlights, and I do agree. Cleveland County looking for their first win of the 2025 season last night as they traveled down to Talladega in the historic Mary Dumas Stadium to take on the Tigers, who have been very feisty so far in 2025. Let's go to the highlights to see how this one actually played out. There you see the header for Mary Dumas Stadium. Beautiful place down there in Talladega, historic for sure. Tiger Stadium, and they're going to start out with the Cleveland County Tigers on offense. Carter Hughes is going to take this for 56 yards for a touchdown. Tigers will score first. I guess that was going to be guaranteed. Either way, Cleveland County Tigers, that is. Here we go, 7-0 Cleveland County on top. Red and black. Red and black's all the same. You get confused here, Coach. Don't start coaching either side here. Hughes, 15-yard run. Picking up another first down for the Tigers. Now Carson Williams going to hold in this 36-yard pass from Cade Schubert, and nicely placed in there for a touchdown. 14-0 Cleveland County is on top on the road. Low snap here from Talladega punter is going to be tackled by Cody Clayton at the THS 29-yard line, and Cleveland County is going to take over from that spot. Elijah Ware is going to take this one for 12 yards. All the way down inside the red zone, down to the 2-yard line, and they're set up just a couple yards away from pay dirt. Ware's going to take this in this time for a touchdown run, and that is going to put them on top, 20-0. 2-point conversion is coming. Hughes going to take it in from 2 yards out as well. 22-0. Cleveland County is on top, and they are rolling at this point. Ware is going to have a 31-yard pass here. And he's going to take this one to the house from Schubert as well. Not the house, actually all the way down to the 5-yard line, close enough, because they're going to take it from that spot where this time on the ground. 5-yard touchdown run is going to put them up 29-0 as they are just rolling along until the play. Here we go. Caleb Fields, long pass to Jalen Baker, who makes a great catch. But he's not only going to be tackled, he's going to be stripped, a la George Teague. And this kid's going to take it all the way back. Jacaden Turner returning this all the way back for a touchdown, but it would be called back for a block in the back. Boo. Doesn't matter. Still phenomenal play there. Lyric Ware is going to pick this one off in the end zone, keeping Talladega off the board. Great play there by the Cleveland County defender, but Talladega would get on the board. Malik Smith with a 12-yard touchdown pass from Logan Stevenson. That put him on the board. 2-point conversion. It's going to be good. 29-8 is the final at this point. Cleveland County with the win on the road. Huge victory for the Tigers as they pull out this win to get their first win of the season. I understand we caught up with the coaches after the game and had a little talk with them afterwards.
All right, the Cleveland County Tigers winning tonight here at Mary Dumas Stadium in Talladega, beating the Talladega Tigers tonight 29-8. We've got the head coach, Vaughn Lee. We've got a couple of the running backs responsible for a lot of the touchdowns tonight. Carter Hughes over here at number 5, Elijah Ware, 22. I want to start with Carter. Second play, I guess, of the game, 56-yard touchdown run. Kind of, I thought, set the tone for the night. Tell us about the play.
I saw the outside was open, and I just hit the outside, man. I knew I could use my speed. I'm fast. I went there, tutty. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we were getting down into the second half, and then 14-0 game, a couple more touchdowns, a 2-point conversion for you in the second half. Tell us about your game, and just really talk about the rushing attack that you had tonight with not only you and Carter, but also the offensive line.
Yes, sir. With being a fullback, you got to go big boy ball in the middle of the hole. Party in the A gap, that's what we like saying. Run the ball hard, don't let it get you down. One man don't bring you down.
Did you say party in the A gap? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Party in the A gap. All right, Coach, let's turn it to you. That first quarter, very important, getting off to a big start like that. Couple of drives, couple of touchdowns, 14-0. So we talked with Carter about that kind of, I felt like, set the tone for the rest of the game.
Yes, sir. The biggest thing, first of all, these two running backs, what's most impressive is they block so well for each other. They're just as good of blockers as they are runners, and hats off to these two for the way they work for each other. Going into the game, we knew we wanted a fast start. We wanted to set a physicality. We really set the tone. All the way through the half, I felt like we were the more physical team, and we really were getting after it. And then we have to learn to win. Somewhere in the third quarter, we kind of hit that same lull that we hit, and we've got to learn to finish games and do things the Cleveland County way. But we took a big step forward tonight.
Defensively, obviously a shutout till the fourth quarter of the game. You have to really, when you're playing Talladega, Malik Smith, the quarterback number 2, they put him out at wide receiver, playing a lot of different places. Your team did a real good job containing him, though, and not allowing him to get any big plays.
That was kind of the game plan, is to make sure we set the edge and make sure we can contain them, not give up big plays in the passing game. They're very athletic, very talented. Coach Dorsey does a great job with them, and they get the ball in the playmakers' hands. But I felt like tonight we were able to get where we're supposed to be and break on the ball and put them behind the sticks a lot.
All right, I'll turn it over to Coach Short for a second.
Coach, I know you got to be proud of your offensive line and defensive line tonight. I feel like they controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides, and I know that's got to make you happy.
That's kind of the plan. We want our offensive line. It starts with our offensive line. We've had a lot of injuries up front in our offensive line, and we're finally getting a little continuous play out of those guys, because they're starting to have the same 5 guys every day for the first time all summer. So that's been big for us, just getting better up front with our offensive line and defensive line. I feel like we're pretty strong up there. We're very athletic, very strong, led by Caven Bates. I felt like our defensive line really set the tone and gave people a lot of trouble.
Coach, one last thing here. I can't help but notice the games that y'all have already played. The first 2 games you played were against very physical football teams, and I think that had a lot to do tonight with the ball game.
That was everything to do with it, because we knew if we could bring the same physicality we played the last 2 weeks, that we would have a good chance to have a lot of success tonight. And we just had to keep that intensity up. Like I said, we got a little out of hand there at the end of the third quarter, and we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. We have to learn how to fix those things, and we will.
Not only a win tonight for Cleveland County, but a region win as they even their region record up at 1-1. Folks, congratulations. Carter, thank you. Elijah, thank you. Coach Lee, thank you very much. Congratulations on the big win.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cleveland County again wins it tonight here in Talladega on the road, 29-8. And Cleveland County does indeed win the game over Talladega. More importantly for the Heflin Tigers, 1-1 in region play in Class 4A Region 3. Guys, are y'all ready for our first dive into Region Rundown presented by Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden? We're going to begin with the big schools tonight. We're going with the 5A and 6A schools. So let's go right now to Class 5A, and we're getting into region play now. Clay Central won tonight. Elmore County also undefeated. Everybody else in this region has a loss now already in region play. Sylacauga 0-2 after that loss to Beauregard tonight. But I don't see anything. Marbury was showing some good play, but Clay Central handled them tonight pretty well. I don't see anything that dissuades me from the opinion that Clay Central is probably the still top dog in this region.
No doubt, when they get their quarterback back, they're going to even be better. They're still playing without their quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Once he comes back.
What's prognosis on that? What do you think? I mean, is he supposed to come back soon, or don't know?
I figure next week or the week after. Well, I wouldn't be surprised next Thursday if we don't see him next Thursday.
And by the way, that's a Thursday night game down at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga. Sylacauga, Central Clay County. After the game, we'll be there to bring you complete highlights and after the game interviews and things like that of that game Thursday. Let's switch up to Class 5A Region 6 now. Leeds and Moody, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Lincoln showing some improvement this year. Jacksonville, big win tonight at Center Point. St. Clair County still finds out that they've got a long way to go. Springville lost a non-region game, but Leeds and Moody, very impressive tonight. Leeds 42-0, or I should say 45-15 over Lincoln. Moody 42-0 over, or I should say 55-0, excuse me, over St. Clair County tonight.
Big win for Jacksonville. Had a tough couple of weeks. They're still in line with what they need to be.
Yeah, the wins
now.
and the wins they've had with the injuries that they've had, season-ending injuries, they've really done a good job of holding it together.
Looks like for the 18th year in a row, it seems like that region is going to come down to the Leeds-Moody game. Let's go to 6A now. This is an interesting region. Clay Chalkville wins tonight. Oxford wins tonight. But boy, look at what Pell City did tonight, beating Mountain Brook. And here's the thing. Pell City was very, very fortunate to escape with a win against Coosa Christian. Gave up, what,
like
27 points
like 20
to
players.
Coosa Christian. And they hold Mountain Brook to 3 tonight.
I really don't know what to think about that. All I know is this is a big wrench that has been thrown right in the dead center of this region. Shocked by that. And really, I mean, Oxford barely getting a win tonight to go over Pinson. Kind of curious about that, too.
You know, next week, Oxford Mountain Brook, I believe, is next Friday night down at Lamar Field in Oxford. And it's any hope of a home playoff game or anything like that from Mountain Brook. Mountain Brook is really in a must-win situation against Oxford this week.
Who knows? Who would you favor in that game at this point?
I think Oxford being at home, I would probably go with the Yellow Jackets.
Okay. And they had a big game last year, if you remember how that came down toward the end.
Oxford onside kick, I think, at the end to go in and win at the end of the game on a 2-point conversion, I believe it was. So,
can I petition to get there? Can I petition to get some of those highlights for that game next week?
But think about
I'll trade you, Chad.
Everybody's always talked about Pinson Valley, but they've had some unbelievable games in the past.
They sure have,
Pinson Valley. Some wars.
And apparently tonight was one of them. Oxford winning 41-40. Now our last region is Class 6A Region 8. May Jemison is 2-0. Gadsden City 1-0. They had an open date, didn't play. The big game in this region tonight was Fort Payne and Southside. Fort Payne wins it 28-6 up at Fort Payne. But history has shown last year, that Fort Payne Southside game will always play a big factor in who goes to the playoffs and mainly who's going to have home field advantage. I think Fort Payne made a big statement tonight. They dominated Southside, winning 28-6.
What do we know about Buckhorn?
Buckhorn lost to Gadsden City last week 31-7. So I'm thinking, I tell you, I think those 2 and 3 teams, Gadsden City, Fort Payne, in my opinion, I think that may come down, as it usually does, to maybe deciding a region championship there.
Okay.
And that game will be, I believe, at Gadsden City this year. So that's our region rundown for Classes 5A and Class 6A. Let's tell you about the fine folks at Core Sports Medicine. They are the folks that basically bring you our play of the night. Tomorrow morning about 8 o'clock, right here on Facebook at High School Football Alabama, you'll see our play of the night. Going to be a tough decision. We got a lot of great plays. Brought to you by Core Sports. Great folks there. They are trusted orthopedics care. They have a dedicated, compassionate team delivering advanced treatment right here in East Alabama, in your hometown. Great surgeons down there, Dr. Clinton Ray and Dr. Jeffrey Waller, bringing you our Core Sports Play of the Night, which will be tomorrow morning about 8 o'clock. Log on and see who that is. We're approaching the midnight hour. Time to vote for our Spirit Scholarship. Begin voting on that in less than 3 minutes at 12 midnight right here on our Facebook page at High School Football Alabama. More highlights, East Alabama Top 10, Team of the Week, Band of the Week, all that still to come.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed Vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Looking for top-tier tumbling and cheer in East Alabama? Cheehaw Cheer and Tumble has programs for every age and skill level. We offer small group tumbling, tot and preschool classes, and even custom training for school cheer teams. Planning a party? Let us host it. And our nationally recognized all-star teams train right here at home. Join the Cheehaw family, where confidence takes root and champions are made. Visit CheehawCheerandTumble.com today.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
At the midnight hour, we are here live at the Sound Solutions Media Center, Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, great partners and great host here of high school football Alabama after the game. Sound Solutions, let's just tell you, they are audio-visual experts that you can rely on. Full service audio, video, lighting company, offer rental, installation, live production. There are schools and churches and corporations and event venues across Alabama who trust Sound Solutions to handle all of their video and audio and lighting needs. They handle the tech so that you can focus on your message or your mission. We're back here on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission on this football Friday night. Chad Barnett, Coach Michael Short. My crew tonight, one of our stops was out at White Plains, Robertson Field. Mike Robertson, Stadium's after Hoax Bluff. He feels right at home coming to Robertson Field out at White Plains tonight. Saw Coach Rob before the game. And I'll tell you, the atmosphere out there, Hoax Bluff, completely packed. There was a lot of green out there, standing room only. White Plains, completely packed. Up on the hill, tailgating and all those kind of things. A great atmosphere. Probably the best atmosphere, well, not probably. It's the greatest atmosphere I've ever seen at White Plains tonight. And the game lived up to the billing. This was a monstrous, great might have been the best game. I don't know about the Oxford-Pennsylvania Valley.
Yeah, that could
but
be a good one too.
as far as played here in East Alabama, that was played over in Birmingham. Might have been the best game of the night tonight between Hoax Bluff and White Plains.
Hoax Bluff going out to Robertson Field. 11 times these teams have met over their history. You know what the average score was over those 11 games? 37-10 in favor of Hoax Bluff. Not necessarily close, but this is what we're talking about. Where is this program going in White Plains? They've got something working. Could they change the narrative tonight? Let's go to the highlights at Robertson Field. And you can't make a trip out to White Plains without seeing the Beechams. They're the biggest fans in White Plains. And then there you go. Those are two fantastic football coaches right there. They are just really doing some good work at both their schools. And they're talking about building the program. There's a lot of the youth program that's going to be bringing up in White Plains over the next, 5, 6, 7 years. Starting on the ground now, Braxton Borelli with a 10-yard run, giving them the first down, but that drive would fail. Brenton Hale with a 15-yard run for Hoax Bluff, and then they're going to go back to the ground. More Hale, this time for 11 yards, making a nifty little cut, and then another cut. He's going to be down for another first down for Hoax Bluff. 4th and 4 now at the White Plains 34. Bryce Whitaker, he's going to not have any problem with this. He's going to take it 22 yards, pick up the first down. Hoax Bluff is still driving. Now, more groundwork. Hailed this time a 6-yard touchdown run. PAT is good. Hokes Bluff is on top 7-0. RO Supply touchdown shirts going into the end zone, going into the stands. And now we will go to White Plains on offense, and that's Crew Martin finding Bryson Cheatwood. That's Colby Jones. The next play, Crew Martin finding Bryson Cheatwood. This time a 24-yard pass. He's going to add on a few more yards for another face mask. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. Takes it down to the Hokes Bluff 19-yard line. Crew now back to pass, and this time he's going to find William Graham down to the 6-yard line, and White Plains is looking to tie this thing up at 7 apiece. Martin now back to pass again, finding Cheatwood in the end zone for a touchdown. 6-7 at this point. Extra point would be good. They would knot it up at 7 apiece, but the best catch of the night, Chad Martin. You still got it, kid. Attaboy. Former Lincoln head coach, father of the quarterback, and showing out tonight with a one-handed catch. Not bad. 35-28 Hokes Bluff.
Before we talk about the game, I was standing there by Chad, and he and I served board members in the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame. And Chad's standing there with a laptop in his hand.
He's still got it, man.
And then all of a sudden, and this ball comes in. He doesn't even flinch. The ball comes up. The guy's throwing it away. I'm looking over there. He goes up, just puts his hand up there. I don't even think he looked at it. He just caught the pass, and I'm like, wow.
Can't teach talent,
play of the night by Chad Martin.
Can't teach
on the
talent.
White Plains sideline.
Can't hide it. Can't teach it.
Tell
Can't hide
me.
it.
Man, somebody's going to put that on there tonight. I don't think you believe me, but there's the proof right there.
There you go.
Let me tell you, Hokes Bluff, they're going to battle. So this game was back and forth and back and forth. It's 7-7, 14-7, 21-7, then 21-14, 21-21, 28-21, 28-28, back and forth. Hokes Bluff's been in a lot of games like that. White Plains hasn't been in a lot of games like that. But White Plains battled and battled and battled. Hokes Bluff battled and battled. Hokes Bluff without Drew McCarver, who maybe some people say maybe their best player. Whitaker, we know about. But McCarver, wide receiver and defensive back, big playmaker for them on both sides of the football.
Yeah.
Missing him tonight, I think, because of an injury. But, man, it was a well of a football game tonight. And the hard play, the not giving up, the not quitting by both of these teams was incredible tonight.
Last week was a tough loss for White Plains. Not the fact that they lost the game. I felt that they played better than the score indicated. There was some plays in the first half where they could have kept that game against Alexandria tight. But to see them play a game like this against a Hokes Bluff team who has been very good this year, kind of served notice that they have taken another step in the program, and they were able to show it actually in the score column tonight. They didn't get the win, but it was much more close, much more competitive throughout the entire game.
White Plains has always been they've always been hungry for it to happen in football. You'd have a year or two where they were okay and competitive, and then they'd go away for 5 or 6 years. I don't think from now on you'll see kids, because of the relationships that Coach Smith will make and his other coaches will make with those players, you won't see kids transferring out. That's always been the hassle for them in football, is keeping kids there.
Yeah.
You get a great one, he leaves. You get a great lineman, he leaves. But I don't think you'll see that from now on.
No.
Well, this will be a game, I think, that as the time passes onward and the program continues to build, I think they'll probably look back at this game tonight. Even though they didn't win this game, I think they'll look back at it standing toe-to-toe with Hokes Bluff, who I expect this week may be state ranked for the first time.
Sooner or later, these will turn from, what do you call them?
7-point losses to 7-point wins.
The moral victories will eventually go away. I think eventually we'll see them turn that corner and take those next steps. As you saw all those kids on the field before the game, everybody's involved.
East Alabama top 10 time. We had some changes tonight because some of our top 10 lost, so we had a shake-up here. Awards to remember, bringing you our East Alabama top 10. Again, this is top 10 regardless of classification. Not saying that the number 2 team is worse than the number 1 team. This is how strong they are according to their classification. A power poll, if you will. Number 10, we dropped Pleasant Valley down. Didn't drop them out. They were up pretty high. But, not many people go to Pisgah, especially in recent years, and win. So a loss tonight drops them. We'll keep them in the top 10. Number 9, another team that lost, but again, they lost to a number of 5 team in the state in Anniston, at Anniston, had the lead in the fourth quarter. So even though Alexandria lost, not going to drop them very far, keep them in the top 10 at 9. Number 8, moving up, Westbrook Christian. got big revenge on Locust Fork tonight.
What do they got coming up? They got a game this week?
They got a game next week.
I hope I'm there.
Yeah. Is there a game next week between Westbrook and maybe another team that's
we might see them here in a minute.
All right.
There's
So
some good food coming.
number 7 here in our East Alabama top 10, Central Clay County, quietly moving up. Big win over Marbury tonight. Number 6 in our East Alabama top 10, the Anniston Bulldogs, kind of holding pat there after their win over Alexandria at home. Bulldogs undefeated. Bulldogs making a strong case that they might be looking for a region championship. Not a number 3 time this year, maybe a region championship or whatever. Now, number 5 here in our East Alabama top 10, Cherokee County, winning tonight 38-14 at Etowah. Number 4, not a lot of changes here. Moody, big win tonight, beating a state-ranked team 55-0 against the number 9 team in the state. Moody, powerful. Number 3, that's Coosa Christian. Another shutout for that defense tonight as they handled Falkville 26-0. Number 2, they had an open date tonight. Everybody's been, well, what did Piedmont do tonight? Well, Piedmont had an open date, didn't lose. So they're at number 2. And number 1, another team that didn't play tonight, they got a forfeit win over Donahoe. That game was supposed to be tonight. We had planned on having the entire Wadley football team here with us in the studio tonight.
That's unfortunate.
That didn't work out because I was going to have Wilkes here, Jaquez Wilkes, standing right here by me and all that.
No,
but
standing over you.
Over me, yeah. Me looking up, they've got me shook up talking about it.
Yeah.
But that's our East Alabama top 10, especially in the bottom 5 here. The second 5, if you will, has some changes. But I think the big story to me is that team right there. Nobody in the state, amazingly, is talking about it. They got maybe a couple of votes this week, and I'm like, I don't think the folks down in Mobile and Dothan and up in Florence, I don't think they realize. Do you know that Steve Smith's the coach of this team?
I was
Do they
going
know
to say,
that?
you think
Do they know?
that name would at least hold some credit and some weight to pull them up a little bit better with their record so far. But, yeah, so far, a little under the radar.
And the team you saw tonight, Coach, we'll talk about this in a little bit because we've still got our game of the week coming, but the Bulldogs of Anniston.
Yeah, there's still a lot of games left for that. I mean, the top 4 in that region are stacked. And to me, it's going to, every time it's going to come down to where's the home field advantage for all of those, from Cherokee County to Alexandria to Anniston to Hoax Bluff. I actually think it's them 3, but we'll see. But it's going to be home field advantage. And Anniston has Alexandria tonight, and then they'll have Cherokee County later on at their place. And it was very crowded tonight.
You made a knock here.
Just wondering, because
because
you've mentioned time and time again about, okay, this was, it's their biggest win of the game. It's their biggest week of the, biggest game of the year, and in the last 10 years. Any possibility that just have it all that mounted pressure, and then they go on the road to Pisgah, and then it's like, okay, we need to prepare ourselves for this a little bit differently. I don't know, because it was a little bit surprised with the score. That I thought they'd be a little closer.
the team that both Pisgah and Pleasant Valley need to look out for, North Sand Mountain. North Sand Mountain is 4-0. So everybody's kind of thinking Pisgah, Pleasant Valley, that's the 1 and 2. North Sand Mountain's going to have a lot to say about that. They beat Cedar Bluff last night, 34-6. Cedar Bluff's only score was on the last play of the game. So it was a 34-0 shutout. It was, I think, maybe 28-0 at halftime. That's a pretty good, much improved Cedar Bluff team. So look out for North Sand Mountain. That's our East Alabama Top 10 presented by Awards to Remember. Now, let's tell you about our next. We got great sponsors here on After the Game. Let's tell you about the next one of those, and that's Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance over in Heflin, but servicing all of East Alabama. Bringing you our game of the week. We're going to bring you that coming up momentarily in just a few moments. Complete coverage of that big Anniston-Alexandria game. And Judd Edwards, here in our community, he is for our community. If you know Judd personally, you know this guy is East Alabama all the way through. Former quarterback for the Oxford Yellow Jackets, now in Heflin, servicing all of East Alabama with great service and hometown relationships, and loves our local schools, serves on the Fellowship of Christian Athletes Board, just involved in our community, and also he will insure you with what counts. 256-463-2260, insurewhatcounts.com. Back with more of After the Game in just a moment.
It's game time, and your home deserves a winning play.
At Ted's Floors and Beyond, we're your home renovation MVP. Scoring big with top quality cabinets, flooring, countertops, and tile.
Whether you're tackling a full remodel or just need new floors before kickoff, We've got unbeatable deals, including 0% interest for 12 months and free in-home estimates.
Don't fumble your dream home. Hustle and attach today.
We stand for Mother Nature. Home sweet home. The best you. Sunsets with friends. Hustle. Art that lasts. Life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's the time of night here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game for our Emblem Credit Union Band of the Week. And our Band of the Week this week, we're going to take you down to Mary Dumas Stadium in Talladega to last night. The Talladega High School Marching Tiger Band. Here they are last night performing at halftime down at Mary Dumas Stadium in Talladega. The director is Cody Glampian. And the Tiger Marching Band has 103 members this year. They are going to perform in the Talladega College Homecoming Parade through the streets of Talladega a little bit later on. And they put on a great performance last night. A lot of great music. You see their dance line right there putting on a great show, doing the moves that only Chad Barnett and Michael Short could do. They got the dance line. They got the everybody out there having a great time last night, entertaining the crowd, great stand tunes as well as on the field. That's our Emblem Credit Union Band of the Week, the Talladega High School Marching Tiger Band. Entertained the folks last night on a Thursday night down in Talladega. There's one more look at the dance line. Appreciate the folks at Emblem Credit Union bringing you our Band of the Week, and congratulations to Talladega. Back with Coach Short and Chad Barnett. They've been dancing. I promise you they have. They've been dancing. They're not quite as good as the Talladega dance line, but they're close.
Stayed on the video. That's good.
Chad, you were you've seen some of Westbrook. We've all seen a lot of Westbrook this year.
Yep.
It is, I think, we talked about Glencoe being an improved team, but certainly Westbrook is one of the most improved teams in 3A football in this state, to the point where I think they're going to be a contender for a deep playoff run. And kind of a revenge game tonight. Last year, it was I think they only got back to, even from Locust Fork to Rainbow City, they only got back at 1:30 in the morning. It was storms. They lost 47-43, back and forth game. It was just a crazy night. And I think, this is my opinion, I think Westbrook was looking to kind of avenge things, and boy, did they do that tonight.
They did, and my lead-in was thinking that, because Locust Fork lost a few players, that, this could be a trap game to where maybe they weren't looking for a rain, maybe they were looking ahead, because they got Piedmont coming up next week.
Oh, do they?
They have that. So, I mean, you really weren't sure what to expect from Westbrook coming into tonight's matchup, but I think they showed us who they are tonight whenever they showed up and played Locust Fork. Let's go to the highlights and see how this one actually played out at Jack Osborne Stadium in Etowah County. And the Warriors are looking to get off to a hot start tonight. They're going to be on defense first. Locust Fork's going to put it on the mat. And Miles Watts, or Brody Wood's, going to pick up the fumble for Westbrook, giving him a nice field position to start the game. Brody Blevins, quarterback, Westbrook Christian, 3-yard touchdown run. PAT is going to be good. 7-0 Westbrook is going to take the lead on top at home. Touchdown T-shirts. Thankful for the folks at RO Supply for providing all of our RO Supply touchdown T-shirts. Now we're going to have the Brody Blevins and Brody Johnson show. This, 14 yards. They liked it so much, they're going to do it again. Blevins to Johnson. This was going to be 19 yards. And then one more time. How about it? While it stays hot, let's just go. Blevins to Johnson, this time 12 yards. Another first down for the Warriors. And that's going to be a touchdown to Brody Wood. That's going to be extra point good, 14-0. So Blevins now back to pass, this time on offense once more. He's going to hand the ball off or pass it to Maximus Johnson, who's going to take this 12 yards for the first down for Westbrook. And then more Blevins. This time he's going to be dumping it off to, actually that's back to Maximus Jones. No, it's going to be Brody Wood. This time a 45-yard touchdown. PAT is good. Making the score 21-0. Westbrook would roll tonight as they do not look ahead to Piedmont. They look just fine. 53-7 is the score for the Warriors tonight.
We're talking about Westbrook and the lack of, maybe not lack of respect, but just lack of awareness by media members around the state. Westbrook Christian last week in the ASWA poll got one vote. Not one first place vote, one vote, period.
Yeah.
Folks, let me just tell ASWA people watching around the state, I love you, I respect you, but I'm telling you, this is a top 10 team. This is a top 10 team.
Coach Smith's happy.
Yeah, he's happy.
He's happy.
But I'm just
right
telling you, this is a top 10 team, and I'm going to be proven right before this season's over. Yeah.
It might be next week.
Next week, Piedmont and Westbrook. Wow. At the Field of Champions at Piedmont. This is not the first time for Steve Smith to return back to the Field of Champions. He did that the first year.
2 years ago.
But he's bringing back a much different football team 2 years later than what he brought up there 2 years ago. This is going to be about as good as it gets in 3A football next week.
Yeah, they're going to be humming. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I wish there was one that we could see, but I'll obviously be looking for those highlights you can be bringing back. Hopefully,
Coach,
you'll do a good job of that.
I'll probably get to go. I don't know, maybe.
I don't know of anywhere else we're going to go for game of the week next week.
Yeah.
But look, they're also
Judd Edwards, game of the week. We got this one figured out.
Gonna get there early. Gonna tailgate for some dogs.
Okay, all right.
And go out there and celebrate. But we need to make sure that they're also celebrating the 2015 state championship team. They're bringing all those
10-year
back,
anniversary, yeah.
coaches, players, and everybody. And Bailey Blanchard probably will get to come because they're off next week.
Oh, nice.
Wow, a lot of storylines that game.
Yeah,
You got a lot to cover. You got a lot of big
get there
job
early.
to do next week.
I got to
Coach.
eat early, get healthy, and then get there and I can eat more.
Got to go there to that Piedmont cabin down there behind the
That's
field.
right.
And
Yes.
Piedmont
It
Booster
should be
Club.
a great game
Nice setup.
with great crowd support on both sides.
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to be standing room only for sure. Let's go back now and look at our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Region Rundown Classes 1A and 2A. A lot of movement here, too. Not much going on with Wadley. Winterboro won tonight over Fayetteville. The most deceptive thing here, Coach, is Fayetteville is 0-2. I'm telling you, Fayetteville is the most underrated 1A team in this state. John Limbaugh has done a great job down there.
He has, and we know what Wadley has, and Winterboro. I mean, Winterboro just quietly getting along there, and that's going to be a big matchup for them.
I think a lot of folks probably thought that Winterboro and Fayetteville game was going to go a long way toward deciding home field advantage in the playoffs, and it probably will. But look out for Woodland there. Coach Smith doing a great job at Woodland. He's got them coming back. They beat Gaston tonight 34-12. So look out for Woodland there as well.
In non-region games with Watley, they got some big non-region games coming up.
Absolutely.
As far as
Glenwood
yes.
and Lee Scott, two 3A good football teams, especially Glenwood. Now let's go to Class 1A Region 8, and this thing has been shaken to its foundation tonight. Valley Head won tonight. Woodville won tonight over Spring Garden. That is huge. Appalachian tonight beat Galesville. Ragland lost tonight. It is shake-up city in Class 1A Region 8. This is the hardest region for me to figure out. We learned a lot tonight, but Woodville beating Spring Garden, Coach, I think that sent a lot of shockwaves through Class 1A football tonight, especially in Region 8.
Yeah, and it may have set the tone on who can host a playoff game. It almost like you can take a set of dice and just roll them and throw them out there on the floor and see who comes up with who wants to be first and second.
Yeah, Valley Head's 2-0, but I'm not convinced that they're maybe the best team in that region.
Yeah.
Appalachian, very good tonight. Beat Galesville 56-0. So still a lot to be decided in 1A Region 8. Let's go to 2A now. Class 2A Region 6. Coosa Christian, Susan Moore at the top. Susan Moore obviously has got a lot of offense, Coach. We talked about how they scored 66 on Cold Springs and setting all those state records, but that Coosa Christian defense is very, very good. I think the story is here, who's going to emerge out of those bottom 4 teams there, 5 teams?
Yeah.
Wouldn't count out Southeastern yet. They're 0-1, but they beat Ragland tonight in a non-region game 34-0. So I think they'll be heard from.
And the thing about Coosa Christian is just how healthy they can stay. I mean, they're only playing like 15 or 16 guys, and there's 16 talented people, but any injury to one of their running backs could really change the outlook of their season.
If they stay healthy, Rush Probst and the Conquerors might not be challenged till they get to Birmingham.
Well, that's true, but I mean, you never say never, but the Blunt game looms big for them as far as a challenge.
Yeah, as far as, and of course that's a non-region game. It's a 6A
Yes.
coming in to take on a 2A. Finally, Class 2A Region 7, and a lot was decided here. Look out for North Sand Mountain. We've said that. Pisgah, 2-0, had that big win over Pleasant Valley. Now the big game, it appears, for Pleasant Valley is going to be North Sand Mountain. That was a very close game last year, and that may be, now it looks like if Pisgah continues to roll, that might be for home field advantage in the playoffs between Pleasant Valley and North Sand Mountain later on.
It will be, and the job for, the task for Coach this week at Pleasant Valley is now that they've been having a bunch of success this year, now all of a sudden a setback. I really think they thought this was on their radar. We're going to go to Pisgah and we're going to win that football game, and it didn't happen. So now you got to be able to drag them up off the mat.
I think because the loss was at Pisgah, that Pleasant Valley probably still will be state ranked when the polls come out next week.
Yes.
That's our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden region rundown for classes 1A and 2A. When we come back, game of the week. We still got some Hope Christian highlights, and we've also got our Team of the Week announcement. That's all still to come on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team 1 Chevrolet. Team 1 Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team 1 Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
Looking for top-tier tumbling and cheer in East Alabama? Cheehaw Cheer and Tumble has programs for every age and skill level. We offer small group tumbling, tot and preschool classes, and even custom training for school cheer teams. Planning a party? Let us host it. And our nationally recognized all-star teams train right here at home. Join the Cheehaw family, where confidence takes root and champions are made. Visit CheehawCheerandTumble.com today.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated. Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Johnson's Giant Food. Let me tell you about the folks at Johnson's. They, of course, give a $100 gift card every week to our concession stand of the week. But, folks, let me just tell you, Friday night football, college Saturday, their deli is phenomenal. If you are in Gadsden, Attala, Jacksonville, East Aboga, Oxford, soon to be in Southside, you need to be going to Johnson's Giant Food. Their deli is just phenomenal. Chicken fingers, wings, potato wedges. They got the quick grabs, chicken salad, potato salad, crackers, chips, cookies, drinks, everything you need for tailgating. Tomorrow's a big day of college football. It's huge.
So many games.
Johnson's Giant Food. Check them out and get all your tailgate needs right there. Back on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett with us tonight. My crew's second stop was Big Jack Stovall Park down in Oxford. Hope Christian taking on Crenshaw Christian. You're thinking, I've never heard of Crenshaw Christian. They are in the AISA, obviously. They're from Luverne down in Crenshaw County. That's the Crenshaw. I'll tell you, Luverne's known as a football power in Class 2A. There's some kids from Crenshaw Christian that, man, they could play for Luverne. They had a pretty impressive team.
All I think of is Crenshaw is Ice Cube. That's about it. That's all I'm thinking about. It was not that Crenshaw. Different one. Homecoming week, though, for Hope Christian. It's a first for the Saints, their inaugural football season. Who knows how they're going to handle the distractions of what homecoming week is. Yeah. Let's go to Big Jack Stovall Field and see the highlights of the Saints in their first homecoming football matchup tonight as they take on the folks from Crenshaw. RO Supply touchdown t-shirts going into the stands because we arrive at halftime. It's 21-0 Crenshaw. Caleb McGinney going to have a 38-yard run for Crenshaw, getting the...
That's one of those guys.
That's one of those guys.
It's a big guy.
It's a big boy. He's got a couple stakes in him for sure. Branson, 25-yard pass to Connor Schofield. Now that's head coach of the Hope Christian Warriors, the Coach Stone. And then Branson, 11-yard pass to Schofield. McGinney now, back at it. Big fella. Who's the Cam Scatterboot? Didn't he look like Cam Scatterboot just a little bit? Big run there, and then another touchdown run here for Hunter Edge, 4 yards out. PAT is going to be blocked, though. Bright spot for Hope for sure there. 28-0 or 27-0 now the score. Offense now for Hope Christian. Kanan Bozeman. Been a good player. We've seen him a couple big highlights this year so far. It's a good, solid 19-yard run for Bozeman, setting up a 1st and 10 for Hope Christian. But then they would have this drive stall. This is a terrible night for me. I'm just apologizing. Just stay with me, Jack State highlights. Ball's on the ground to fumble. How about that? McGinney now, 30-yard run for Crenshaw. Just a big fella. Now a 4th and 5, though. How about Hope continuing to play? 4th and 5, it's going to be stymied by the Hope defense, but it would not be enough as Hope would fall tonight at home, 33-0.
Guys, I've seen a lot of football this year. I've probably seen maybe 16 teams play already, maybe more than that. That's the one guy I'm sitting there going, I would not want any of that guy. That guy was... Remember Jerry Lorenzen that played at Kentucky?
Oh, yeah.
Quarterback that could run? This guy is big, but he can run. And I mean, I was over there on the sideline scared of this guy.
You know who I thought? I thought Larry Zonka.
Yeah.
The Larry Zonka of Crenshaw County.
He didn't have that little knuckle
right,
face
did.
mask on it, though. That's the only difference.
That's the big boys. I mean, they were
a big boy.
a lot of them big.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
At their stadium, I just
Yes.
noticed, I noticed grass and everything.
Yes,
else.
dude.
I've not been to that stadium. Is that old railroad track run by there? That's not
The
there?
railroad track
I don't think
runs
it's an
right
operated one.
behind the visitor bleachers.
So that's at Rock.
I haven't been there with a train come by yet, but they're also just beyond the railroad track. There's a row of trees, and then the runway at the airport. And like at halftime, the Crenshaw people,
I don't know if that line
think
is
it's-
live.
I don't think it's live anymore.
Because that runs down by Airport Road and it goes
Yeah.
through
Yeah,
like
it's,
back.
it's not live.
I don't think it's live,
But
no.
man, can you imagine being able to purchase a what do you call them? The train, part of the cart.
There you go.
Like
pull
in
that
South
thing-
Carolina, the
yes,
cockabooses.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the first thing I thought of,
Yeah.
having it right there.
All right.
Maybe I thought,
Maybe
you
so.
never know.
Could be one heck of a way to
If
enter
that
the field.
happens, you can rest assured it was on
Right
after
here.
the game.
Or they could be like Clemson. Maybe they get on the train about
Right
a mile
in.
down the
Bring-
road, ride in,
bring
get off.
them in.
but
Push
you
them
just-
in. I mean, just come on in there and
But
get off of
today,
it.
the Luverne folks, I mean, we're sitting there at halftime, and there's this airplane takes off from the airport down there, right
Yeah.
behind the visitor team bleachers. And if they ever have a game there where one of those big planes, or
Yeah.
big
Yes.
military planes takes off, they're going to probably have to stop the game for the noise there. So Hope Christian, they lose tonight in that game 33-0. They've had 4 straight home games. Now they got a lot of big road games coming up. When we say big road games, none of them are short. They're going to places like Eufaula, Millbrook, Bessemer, places like that as we move through the next several weeks. Let's tell you about awards to remember. I was out there today. Not only do they do a lot of sports stuff, something I didn't think about. We're in the middle of band competition season, and they had a room full of band trophies for these band competitions
they have a
coming up.
bunch of them.
So they do awards for everything. It's not just sports, but they do it for corporations, for bands, for cheerleaders. They do our Cheerleading Squad of the Week trophy. Awards to remember at awardstoremember.com. Go check out their showroom in Ohatchee on Alabama Highway 162 out there. And then also you'll want to check them out online at awardstoremember.com. All right, now time for our final State Representative Randy Wood out of District 36 extra point of the night. The Week 6 non-region game between Class 6A Shades Valley and Class 4A Power Cherokee County has been moved to Thursday night. The game will be moved up one night and will now be played on Thursday, September 25th at Bobby Joe Johnson Field, Warrior Stadium in Center. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's game time, and your home deserves a winning play.
At Ted's Floors and Beyond, we're your home renovation MVP. Scoring big with top quality cabinets, flooring, countertops, and tile.
Whether you're tackling a full remodel or just need new floors before kickoff, we've got unbeatable deals, including 0% interest for 12 months and free in-home estimates.
Don't fumble your dream home. Hustle in a Ted's today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed Vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
This spring and summer, get it done right with Oxford Lumber, your hometown partner for projects big or small. From refreshing your garden to upgrading your outdoor space, we've got everything you need. Check out our full garden center and gear up on our Stihl showroom, chainsaws, blowers, trimmers, and more. Ready to grill? We've got Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone to fire up the fun. Since 1985, Oxford Lumber has been built on tradition and focused on you. Visit us today at any of our 5 locations: Oxford, Roanoke, Talladega, Jacksonville, and Lincoln. Oxford Lumber, where you're treated like family.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you. The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
We have had a lot of interesting things going on the Red Thread Stay Put preview box tonight. It may be the most entertaining part of the show is what you see during the breaks on our Red Threads Stay Put preview box, powered by O-Brand, JSU apparel, local high school team apparel, custom apparel for your event or company. Red Threads has it. All of our t-shirts, Muscle Team shirts, our RO Supply Touchdown t-shirts, our Anniston Orthopedics Score shirts, our staff shirts that you see us wearing out at the games, say after the game. All of that coming from Red Threads, powered by O-Brand. More highlights coming your way. Earlier in the night, we had the head coach of the Ohatchee Indians, Coach Blake Jennings, did the honors of coming and being with us tonight, and a lot of respect for him for coming. They lose tonight to J.B. Pennington, tough region loss, 42-14 out of the Creek Bank, but we've got highlights of the game.
You know, J.B. Pennington enters tonight 1-2 on the season, but don't let that record fool you. They lost the second half lead to Welborn. They dropped a tough one last week against Glencoe, and we saw what Glencoe did tonight. It's a good football team. They've got some talent. Let's go out to the highlights onto the Creek Bank and see how this one played out. It's 21-6 when we arrive, and J.B. Pennington's going to be on offense. Caden Cantrell for J.B. Pennington with a 20-yard run for a first down. And then Connor Timmerman for Pennington made a 25-yard run, going to be down just short of the goal line. And then Timmerman to J.B. Pennington. That's going to be into Caden Cantrell. Fumbled it, but gets it back in the end zone. More for J.B. Pennington, though. 15-yard run by Cantrell. Then they're going to go back on the ground. More Cantrell again. Another 15-yard scamper. And that's going to be an extra point. Good RO Supply touchdown t-shirts. Finding a way into the bleachers. And that's how we'll end the highlights tonight on the Creek Bank. 28-6 is the score at that point. 42-14 the final.
42-14. J.B. Pennington 2-2. Ohatchee falls to 0-4. Let's talk about the fine folks at the Calhoun County Commission. They bring you. I talked with Danny Shears tonight from the County Commission out at White Plains. Danny and all these county commissioners, whether it's Danny, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, Lee Patterson, they love this county. They love the schools in this county. They love the quality of life in this county. And those folks are working hard every single day in everything they do to make Calhoun County the best that they can make it, supporting our school systems, our recreational sites, supporting things like the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame. And after the game, the Calhoun County Commission, I'd put our county commission up against anybody in this state. You won't find 5 people that care more about Calhoun County than the Calhoun County Commissioners of Wilson, Shears, Henderson, Howell, and Patterson. We come back, game of the week time. We'll take you out to Chinklot Stadium, Mosby Stadium, in just a moment.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed Vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
It's game time, and your home deserves a winning play.
At Ted's Floors and Beyond, we're your home renovation MVP. Scoring big with top quality cabinets, flooring, countertops, and tile.
Whether you're tackling a full remodel or just need new floors before kickoff, we've got unbeatable deals, including 0% interest for 12 months and free in-home estimates.
Don't fumble your dream home. Hustle into Ted's today.
Talking with Danny Shears tonight out at White Plains, and Danny was telling me he's also involved with the Calhoun County Quarterback Club. Tell me what a great season. They got off to a great start last week with Butch Thompson, Auburn University head baseball coach. Continues this week with Steve Marlowe, SEC football official. Look at this great, these are household names. Eric Davis, Walter Lewis, Aaron Suttles from Yale, Alabama, Coach Charles Kelly from Jack State, Jake Fromm, the Georgia Bulldog, Holly Rowe from ESPN. You can be a part of this. Call David Woodard at 256-239-4481. Say, hey, I heard them talking about the Calhoun County Quarterback Club, and I want to be a part of it, and they'll set you up and get you a part of that. All right, big game tonight in East Alabama was our game of the week. We're going to get to that in just a couple of moments, talking about that. But right now, we want to talk about our Young Oil Grub Mart Muscle Team. And here is the Muscle Team. This is from last week. Walter Welborn playing at home last week, and they were phenomenal as they were just impressive. Rolled up 388 yards last week against Weaver. That's 388 yards rushing last Friday night against Weaver out at Bill Bryan Stadium. Here's the offensive linemen. Jaden Henniger, Parker Williams, Colt Quinn, Dalton Dillard, Sawyer Thomas, Braden Hortland, Eli Wicklund, and Juan Hernandez. All 8 of those guys are going to receive our Young Oil Grub Mart Muscle Team shirts. They'll get those next week. Congratulations to the Welborn offensive line, our Young Oil Grub Mart Muscle Team of the Week. And Game of the Week now presented by Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance. There are only just a handful of games involving top 10 teams playing each other in the state. One of those right up the street here at Watt Mosby Memorial Stadium. Big game tonight, Alexandria and Aniston.
Huge, not just the helmets and names. Number 5 versus number 9, just a couple of blocks that way from our studios right here in Aniston. Bulldogs looking extremely dominant so far this year. Alexandria building something pretty special as well. Excited to see these highlights, just as you are probably as well. Let's go to the Judd Edwards Game of the Week as we head out to Lott Mosley Memorial Stadium and take on these 2 titans of high school football in East Alabama. Go head to head. We see the Bulldogs entering the field first. All blacks uniform, and they are looking sharp. Alexandria in all whites, and now we've got some football. Cole Wheeler hands the ball off to J.J. Beeson for 15 yards and a first down. Wheeler now is going to complete a pass to Evan White to move the chains. Handoff now to Beeson, but he's going to fumble it near the goal line. Huge play here for Anniston, keeping the Valley Cubs out of the end zone. Good spot for the defense. Rico Jackson looking on, looking well at this point. Pope now with a drop back. He's going to look and find Carr in the end zone for a touchdown. Bulldogs strike first as they're going to go for 2 here, and Tariq Judkins, he's going to catch this pass from Pope for the 2-point conversion. 8-0 is the score. So, does Alexandria answer? Beeson going to take the handoff, and he's going to take it 26 yards in there for the touchdown. 8-6 is the score. Extra point would be no good. Failed onside kick would leave Anderson with great field position. Handoff to Williams. He's going to take it to the house. Huge play for the Bulldogs. 2-point conversion. And they're going to lose a little bit of yards here. That's going to be a failed 2-point conversion. Alexander now back. And he's going to get the ball to M.J. Morris. 90 yards for the touchdown. 14-13 is the score. Barn burner here in Anniston. Valley Cubs now back on offense. Wheeler finding White to pick up the first down. Wheeler now connecting with Beeson for another touchdown. And Alexandria is back on the board. 18-14 the score. Can Anniston answer now? Get the touchdown pass of their own. Beautiful. Just getting it inside the pylon for a 20-18 lead. Coach Ginn talking to the officials. Can I get a call? Need a little help here. Alexander with a comeback. Hopeful coming. Wheeler to White to get them down to the 17-yard line right here. Huge play, and it looks like they're going to have an opportunity to take the lead. They'll have a shot in the end zone here to take the lead. Wheeler, he's going to be picked up by Dacius Baker in the end zone. Massive play. You can't get much bigger than that. That would basically seal the victory for the Anniston Bulldogs. Huge win at Lott Mosby Stadium as they take the best play in all of football, the kneel down, the victory. Alexandria falls tonight in a tough one to the Anniston Bulldogs. We caught up with the coaches and players after the game.
This is Coach Michael Short with High School Football Alabama at Lott Mosby Memorial Stadium with the Anniston Bulldogs and the victorious Rico Jackson, the coach. Coach, congratulations on your win tonight. Tell us all some of these people here we have with us.
Just a bunch of guys that made plays tonight that help us to win the game. Really proud of the boys for fighting. Every game's not going to be a blowout, and they came through in a big way.
Guys, you had a lot of adversity tonight. Really, both sides had a lot of adversity, and was real proud of the way you handled that. Give us an idea just how big this win was for y'all tonight.
This game was almost like a playoff game, very big region game. We both came in undefeated. We knew somebody was going to have to come out on top on this.
I'm just going right off what he said. You know, it's a big game. It's good for the region. You know, it can propel us to the playoffs, have us a good season. So it's just major win, and I'm happy to have it.
I mean, we knew what we was supposed to do. We knew how it was supposed to happen, and we just came to play. Things happened a lot different from what we expected, but you got to fight through it.
Well, Coach, you know that every win is a big win in this region. It's another region win. But I know that as a head football coach, you got a lot that you can watch off of film and to work on because the grind only gets worse and worse each week.
Oh, no doubt, man. Like, you know, just even offensively, we were in the red zone twice, fumbled. We was in the red zone 2 more times, didn't score. So it's going to be a great teaching tape for us to get better and improve. We got a good team. We playing next week in Holt's Bluff, but we're expected to rally the troops and be ready to go again.
Well, Coach, we sure are proud of you. What a great night for high school football. Both sides were well represented with great fans and great support on both sides.
No doubt, man. This is what high school football is all about.
You're exactly right. Again, Coach Short here from Lott Mosby Memorial Stadium.
And Anniston wins it. Just a back-and-forth game, and what you said, Coach, just a great atmosphere for high school football. I ask you tongue-in-cheek, were there a few people there tonight? And it takes a lot to fill up Lott Mosby Memorial Stadium because when that stadium was built, Anniston was a humongous school, probably the equivalent at one time of a 7A in this state. So it takes a lot to fill it up. There were not very many empty seats left in that stadium tonight. There were a lot of folks there.
I got there about 5:40, 5:45, and there was already a line of Alexandria people on the visitor side, 100 yards long already, waiting. They filled their side up for sure. Standing room only around the sides and the end zone everywhere else. Anniston is a very big side. You know that. They had a ton of people there, and how many people were up on the hill? I mean, they were everywhere, very loud. I mean, it was just a lot of adversity, a lot of penalties, a lot of turnovers tonight on both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides. But there was a lot of contact, a lot of physicality. Wouldn't be surprised they may play again sometime. You never know.
Coach just read my mind. That's what I was about to say. You know, I don't know that 4A Region 5 and 7 are going to be contenders much in the North this year. 4A 8, you know, your Deslers, your West Morgans, Hatton this year. I think they're going to be some contenders out of that, but we very easily could see quarterfinals, semifinal round. We could see some rematches here because not only Anniston, not only Alexandria, don't forget Cherokee County's in this region, and Oaks Bluff's in this region. So there's still a lot of football to be played for sure.
Yeah, and to me, the region as tight as it is, it's going to come down to who's going to get to host a game, where you're playing at, who's got home field advantage. And to me, that's what it'll come down to. When they're all as close as they are, I mean, until you saw that last interception, Alexandria's driving to the score to win it. There were no time.
That play's not made. It's totally different.
It's
totally
a whole different story.
Yeah.
And the way brackets and home field advantage changed a few years ago with AHSAA in the playoffs, when you're a region champion, you got a big advantage in the playoffs. That's why it's even more important to win a region championship, because down the line in the playoffs, you got a chance to play a lot of football games at home.
Well, both these teams had to go on the road last year and had some pretty. That's where they ended up losing, both of them, right? I think Alexander was on the road in Killen,
North Jackson.
In North Jackson.
Yeah, that's where they finally got beat.
Lost at Brooks, and then Anniston lost at West Morgan.
And
so, making those trips. So those games are at home. You don't know what.
You don't know how that works out. Yeah.
And I think obviously Alexandria and Anniston are better football teams this year than they were last year.
Oh, without a doubt. Like I said, it just it was a great football game to be a part of. It's so loud. I mean, you couldn't walk down the Alexandria side because they're a lot closer. You know, the visitor side at Anniston's on top of you, where on the home side it's a lot farther off of you. You know, Anniston has a tent. They got a tent and TVs. You never know. It may be
TVs. Rivers? No, none of that.
No rivers.
No rivers.
There's some quintards, but there's no rivers.
There's a little creek over that runs over by the old
It
Girl
does. It
Scout.
goes under the road.
There is. Yep.
All right. A little bit Anniston geography for you there. Coming up, Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week announcement is coming up in our next segment. That's just literally a few moments away. Let me just tell you about Ted's Floors and Beyond. Great folks. During football season, I'm in their store and I deal with their folks every week, and they have experts. They have great people. If you want a local store that's going to do quality work, offer you quality products, and they're going to be your one-stop shop, and you want to deal with quality, honest, hardworking, great people, Ted's Floors and Beyond is the place to go. Go to shopteds.com for more information. We've got a couple more regions to run across, and our big Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week announcement is next.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Looking for top-tier tumbling and cheer in East Alabama? Cheehaw Cheer and Tumble has programs for every age and skill level. We offer small group tumbling, tot and preschool classes, and even custom training for school cheer teams. Planning a party? Let us host it. And our nationally recognized all-star teams train right here at home. Join the Cheehaw family, where confidence takes root and champions are made. Visit CheehawCheerandTumble.com today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
Anniston Orthopedics tomorrow morning. Well, it is tomorrow morning. All right, in about 7 hours, their Saturday morning sports clinic. This morning, the Anniston Orthopedics Saturday morning sports clinic will be open at 8 a.m. at the Tyler Center in Anniston every Saturday morning during the football, cross-country, volleyball season. They'll be there. You can see an orthopedic doctor, get x-rays if needed, and most importantly, they'll get you back on the field as soon as possible. There's no sense in worrying or suffering all weekend. If you feel like you got an injury, you're not feeling well, come out and see them. All high school athletes that might be suffering from an injury come to the longest standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama. That is Anniston Orthopedics. They bring you our Ted's Floors and Beyond score shirts, Anniston Orthopedics score shirts. And so we're going to announce that coming up in just a couple of moments. But before we do, we've got two more regions to look at in our Team One Chevrolet of Gadsden region rundown. These will be the middle schools, so to speak, not the big schools, not the small schools, the schools in between classes 3A and 4A. Let's begin in Class 3A, Class 3A Region 4. Coach, you mentioned Wadley had a couple of tough non-region games coming up for 1A Wadley, and there's why. Because they have non-region games in the coming weeks with Glenwood, who's 3-1, Lee Scott Academy, who's 4-0. Randolph County is 3-0, but they only won by a point tonight over Dadeville. So, Coach, I think that's your top four right there in some combination.
Oh, no doubt. And if I got a chance real quick here, Mo Winston, the great running back from Randolph County, he had 2 catches for 131 yards tonight with 2 touchdowns, but he also had 28 carries for 314 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's already over 1,000 yards rushing.
That's
65 yards a catch.
Yes.
My goodness. All right, Class 3A Region 6 now. Here we go. We got 9 on there? Yes, we do. We got 9. There it is, folks. Next week, Field of Champions, Westbrook Piedmont, 3-0 versus 3-0. I don't think Westbrook will be ranked. They should be, but I'm not sure the folks around the state are aware yet of Westbrook, but they should be. I've mentioned that. Glencoe right there, Walter Welborn. I still think there's going to be some challenges there for Welborn after that loss tonight, but Glencoe certainly is the team that made the statement. Everybody not shocked that Glencoe won, but shocked that they won 42-0 over Welborn tonight.
I think J.B. Pennington was one of the teams that were really going to fight for that 4th spot, but with Welborn having that 4th spot and the win head-to-head over J.B. Pennington really puts them in a tight spot, or in a good spot for the 4th spot. The big thing you got to watch out for, though, is the 3-way ties. Like, yes. It's not – they're not guaranteed the advantage over J.B. Pennington, because what if there's a 3-way tie between the 3 and that goes out the window? But right now they're sitting in good position.
Yeah, we mentioned that last week that Glencoe and Welborn both have the head-to-head tiebreaker over J.B. Pennington.
Let me give it one quick.
Yes.
Let me tell you what scheduling's done for Glencoe. They just had one of the biggest wins they've had in a long time. It'd be real easy next week to have a letdown. Not going to have one. They're going to have one tough week of practice because they're off next Friday night. And that's going to be an advantage for them, for him to get them brought back down and grounded.
Yeah, they'll need to.
All right, let's move to Class 4A now, 4A Region 3. This is another tough region to figure out. And you say, well, John, why is it tough to figure out? Bullitt County's 2-0, Handley's 2-0, Booker T. Washington's 2-0. But the only team that's really been the two teams that have been kind of dominant have been Bullitt County and Handley. Booker T. Washington has not been real dominant, neither has Tallahassee. So that opens the door for folks like Cleburne County, perhaps, to come in there and maybe sneak into the playoffs. I think the question here in this region is going to be who are going to be the 3 and 4 teams. That could be just about anybody at this point in time.
Yeah, well, and Cleburne County giving their first win tonight, that definitely keeps them in there for that discussion because, I mean, they're probably going to be a better suited over Mumford, you would think. And, I mean, so who else are they battling with? Is it Tallahassee? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Well, they've got some of the long road games at home this year.
So the Cleburne County Munford game, that's a Thursday game coming up at Munford. That will be a big one. We'll be there to cover that one. And now let's go to Class 4A Region 6, and we found out a lot about this region tonight. We found out that Anniston is for sure legit. We know Cherokee County is good. Hokes Bluff remains undefeated. We know Alexandria is good. Asheville, look out for Asheville. We saw them in the Jamboree, impressed with their quarterback. Big win tonight at Aniana. But right now, until further notice, I think it's a combination of those top 4 there, Alexandria, Hokes Bluff, Cherokee County, and Anniston. But where it's going to be, I don't know at this point in time. There's a lot of football still to be played and a lot of big games still coming in that.
When is Alexandria or Anniston, Cherokee County?
That is going to be in about 3 weeks, and that will be at Anniston.
And nobody knows I'm pointing at it, but the Hokes Bluff and Anniston, that'll be at Hokes Bluff this year.
Okay. And Alexandria and Hokes Bluff will be at Hokes Bluff. And you know the Eagles are probably looking for some revenge. And then Hokes Bluff has to go to Cherokee County. So a lot of football still to be played, especially amongst those top 4 teams. All right, now time for our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. Who is going to get the Ted's t-shirt? Who is going to get the Awards to Remember Tough Guy trophy? Who's going to get the Anniston Orthopedics score shirts with the score of the game on there? Well, it's a team that I feel like had their biggest win in a decade tonight. They were at home. They were in a region battle. It was supposed to be a close game, but 28 points in the second quarter made all the difference in the world, and the Glencoe Yellow Jackets win 42-0 over the Walter Welborn Panthers. Coach Bailey Blanchard and the Glencoe Yellow Jackets. This week's Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week. We're coming to Glencoe with trophies and t-shirts on our way to the Glencoe Yellow Jackets. For Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett, our entire hard-working, great folks behind the scenes, our hard-working after the game team. We'll see you back here next Friday night at 10 o'clock on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes, I know you long time.